From Victory Field at Joe Brown Park in New Orleans East, it is high school football from Crescent City Sports on a Wednesday night. Because it's 2020, why not? Wednesday night football for you here. Tonight we got a good one with two ranked teams in Louisiana as the East Ascension Spartans will take on the Warren Easton Eagles. Lenny Van Gilder along with Wade Kaiser. Before we get into the analysis, let's pause for the playing of our national anthem. National anthem from Victory Field, Joe Brown Park out in New Orleans East. Again, Lenny Van Gilder, Wade Kaiser with you, Matt Merritt, our producer, Albert Garrett bringing you the pictures this evening. Wade, this is 2020, so I guess we'd expect everything, but the fact is we have football this week, and I mean, obviously the threat of Hurricane Delta caused schools early in the week to try to scramble. What we thought might be a few one-offs of games getting played on Wednesday night turned into about 40 games tonight around the state, and a lot more tomorrow night. Hardly any, if any, left on Friday. And so here we are with Wednesday night football and two very good teams having to contend with a short week to face some pretty good opponents as well. EA comes in ranked 7th in Class 5A in the Crescent City Sports rankings. Warren Easton is 5th in Class 4A in our rankings as well.
Yeah, two great football teams tonight playing on a short week of preparation. It's going to be interesting to see how things pan out for both of them. I know from the coaching standpoint, you hate short weeks of preparation, but if you want to play, and with a storm out there in the Gulf, what choices do you have? They found a stadium. They decided to play on a Wednesday night, and so here we go. We got Wednesday night football in the city of New Orleans.
They have flipped the coins. It looks like Warren Easton won the toss. They are going to defer the option, so it's going to be East Ascension getting the football first. Warren Easton, the home team, of course, tonight in the gold helmets with the purple jerseys and gold pants. East Ascension with the yellow gold helmets, the white jerseys, and the gold pants. Two really, really good looks out there as we were talking about pregame. EA is 1-0 on the year, having beaten Northwest in their opener. Warren Easton 0-1, losing to Carr Saturday night in a rematch of that Class 4A championship game from a year ago. And so the biggest thing to take into account there is Saturday night.
Right.
So it's one thing to go Friday to Wednesday. Easton's having to go Saturday to Wednesday. which is not unlike what the NFL teams do once a year, going from a Sunday to play on a Thursday night.
It's hard because you got to think of preparation in days 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if Warren Easton plays on a Saturday night, technically today would be day number 2 of preparation. Whereas, of course, East Ascension played on a Friday night, this would be day 3 of preparation. The bottom line is if you're sound in what you're doing scheme-wise, you're sound in what you're doing technique-wise, everything should adapt and adjust itself for another team's defense's offensive schemes, okay? The problem is playing on short notice with injuries, bangs and bruises, fatigue, all of those little things that go in that could possibly, be detrimental.
So it's going to be Farrix Castillo to kick things off here for Easton. A couple of men deep for EA. It's Jordan Goodlow along with Cale Babin, who handled most of the returns last week, and he's in the middle, standing at about the 6-yard line. And off we go on a Wednesday night from Joe Brown. It will be Babin to take this one in at about the 7, out past the 20, breaks away from a crowd at the 30, 35, 40, trying to get to the outside, gets across midfield and is finally run out of bounds at the Warren Easton 45-yard line. So a good special teams play for EA to get this one started.
That's another thing you're going to see, too, on short notices or short games with missing days of preparation. You should see either one team capitalize special team-wise and another team falter. That's what you're going to usually see. It's tough to get all your special team preparation in during the week when you're short on days with your players.
So on 1st and 10 at the 45, Troy Dunn, the junior, gets the start at quarterback. He will give it away on first down. That is Walter Samuel, the sophomore running back, who topped the 100-yard mark last week in their win over Northwest. Gets 3 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Samuel last week was the workhorse for the EA offense, so I expect to see the same thing tonight. EA has already gone into their no-huddle, check-with-me offense on the boundary. It can either be up-tempo, it could be not up-tempo. You can slow things down and have a slower tempo.
So this time a single setback and 2 receivers to each side. Give it away, and that is well defended right there by Warren Easton. Armon Ellis, the defensive end, the senior, was the first there to make contact. Might have been a loss of about a half a yard. Make it a loss of 1. It's going to be 3rd down and 8.
Armon Ellis did a nice job setting the edge right there on the stretch play by EA, and he destroys the block and wraps up and makes a nice play for a loss.
I'm hearing a little bit of crowd noise and hearing a lot from the Easton bench. We'll get into it, but of course, playing in the city of New Orleans, we're dealing with different restrictions than we saw last Friday night in Hammond. First 3rd down of the game, it'll be 3rd and 8 from the 43 of Easton. Play action, and it dropped out there in the flat. That was the tight end, Shaquell Mack, who could not bring it in, the junior. And so it's going to be 4th and 8. So a good job by the Easton defense. After allowing the kickoff return onto the plus side of the 50, they get a 3 and out. Get a big stop right there and force the punt, where we will see Brian Tellez, the sophomore punter, average 36 yards a kick a week ago.
Warren Easton's known for their defense. Jerry Phillips is an outstanding defensive coach, and right there they get a nice stop.
Snaps over the head. This could be trouble. Tellez is going to try and pick it up, but he's got a knee on the ground, and that's you talk about special teams. They give it, they take it away. A bad snap right there. Warren Easton's going to be in business at the 34-yard line.
Snap over the head right there, and you just don't rep those things enough during the week if you're on a short schedule. So those guys maybe didn't get enough snaps in this week, that sort of thing, and it definitely worked out for great field position for East Ascension.
Loss of 23 on that bad punt snap. So Easton takes over at the 34. And on first down, they'll give it away and hit in the backfield and take it down for a loss of 2 is Jake Gordon, the junior running back. And Easton will go with some tempo as well. 2nd and 12 at the 36. And got a whistle. Gordon's got to come out of the game because he lost the helmet. Kendrick Connolly, the sophomore, saw some action at quarterback as a freshman last year. Completed 53.7% of his passes for 664 yards a year ago. Was 13 of 32 against Carr for $183. This is a pass, and that will go to Alred Luke, and he'll get about 1. That's a forward pass. Obviously, if he drops it, it's an incomplete pass. So it goes as a pass on that little shovel, which basically acts like a jet sweep.
Antoine Foster does a great job coming up and sticking that and turning that back inside to make the play for East Ascension.
Hard count, they draw East Ascension offside. So 3rd and 11 is now going to be 3rd and 6 after the offside penalty by the defense. Put it at the 30-yard line. The line to make now is the 24. That's a classic RPO look right there, and it's Luke on the catch, and he's brought down short of the first down by about a yard.
There's your RPO. They're counting the numbers right there on that RPO to see what they have out there defended on the flank. If they have the numbers, they're going to pull the ball off the play action and pitch it out there to the outside. And they had the numbers that time, and it was an easy connection for Conley.
A good shoestring tackle to keep it from happening. Now the quarterback's going to keep on 4th down, and a terrific one-on-one tackle right there by the outside linebacker Marcellus Taylor for a loss that's going to give it back on downs to East Ascension after a loss of, haven't seen the spot yet. Looks like they're going to give it a loss of 2 on the play.
Marcellus Taylor does a great job. He's out there unblocked, had no place but to make the tackle right out there with the running back, and he wraps up and takes him to the ground on a great form tackle. These East Ascension linebackers are really quick. They get to the ball extremely fast. They pursue downhill real well.
Now, one of the things we didn't get a chance to talk about in our open tonight, Wade, these two teams met a year ago. It's the second of a 2-year contract. They met in Gonzales, and it was a classic. 42-41 East Ascension as they're running on first down, and that is Kendall Washington this time. Or was it? Yeah, that's 2. Washington on the carry. Give him 2 yards on the run up the middle. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
East Ascension has a very nice looking offensive line, Kenny. These guys are big. They like to run that zone scheme where they can try to knock you off the ball, physical up on you inside, and run downhill from that tailback position.
It's Richardson, Soniat, Banks, Jefferson, and Jackson. Got a couple of juniors and 3 seniors in the middle up front. Counter action here, and they'll try to get to the outside with Washington. He's brought down behind the line. And what we're seeing on both sides of the football right now, Wade, is some really good pursuit.
Well, Warren Easton can run. Defensively, they've always been able to run, and that's when, like I said, one of the trademarks of Jerry Phillips is getting his kids to get to the ball. And right there, number 10, Wallace Foster did a great job. He's only a freshman corner. He gets to the ball. He plays off the block, turns the play in, and makes a tackle.
Foster with an interception a week ago in his high school debut against Carr. Look, they're not... Jerry Phillips not afraid to play young guys. If you remember a year ago, we had their opener against De La Salle, and Jerea Jackson, who's now a sophomore linebacker, was a freshman starting in the middle and calling all the signals. Dunn is going to roll, trying to get to the sticks, and will get there for the first down. And nobody open. Let's see where they go. Are they going to say he stepped? No, wait a minute. They're saying he stepped out at the 36-yard line. I thought he got past the sticks. No, they're saying he stepped out at the 36, a yard short.
He came up a yard short.
So now it's 4th and 1 at the 36. And if you're Darnell Lee, I guess it's decision time right here.
Applying the pressure that time was Kerry Grant. I'm going to be saying that name all night, I have a feel. That's one of those classic names for a player. Kerry Grant blitz from his linebacker position, popped through clean. Nobody picked him up.
Okay, so this is interesting. Here's the
Right.
punt unit coming on, but it's the other punter, Cullen Wheat, who's also their backup quarterback.
Correct. So that's going to be an alert right there. You're going to have to be alert on defense. So you're thinking about a couple of things. Number one, do we put a block on? Do we put a return on? Or do we keep our safe defense on the field and call safe punt return?
Perhaps trying to draw them offside. No, they're going to punt it away. Wheat, pretty good kick right there. Taken in at the 26-yard line and returned to about the 35. And Warren Easton will take over there at the 35-yard line. And after three kind of different 3-and-outs, we can finally breathe for a second as the Easton offense takes the field away. It gives me a chance to remind you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Lamarck Ford and Kenner, where the Ford showroom has gotten a facelift. Wow, it's something to see. Come see our remarkable deals and service. Stop by or go to lamarck.com. So 1st and 10 ball now at the 35-yard line. Hand it off on 1st down and a nice hole up the middle. 1st down and more. And the running back, Jay Gordon, will pick up 21 yards on that 1st down play.
Inside zone, Jay Gordon hits it downhill. They like to run the ball downhill, too, in between the tackles. Another huge offensive line for Warren Easton this year, and they're a young offensive line.
A couple of seniors on there. One of them's hurt right now. It's Shelby Jones.
Bad snap, just dribbled back.
Eagles will lose 4 on the play. Second down and 14.
Second down and 14 now. The ball at the 48-yard line.
This isn't where Warren Easton likes to be. I don't know what an offensive coordinator that likes to be behind the chains. 2nd and 14, 2nd and 13.
Go through the signals like a third base coach. Everybody looks over, gets the call, give it away, and it's once again the running back Gordon busting it up the middle and a 1st down at the 25-yard line, a gain of 23. And with that, I believe we're going to have the hydration break.
Great blocking up front on the off-tackle stretch play. Problem is there was nobody there in a white jersey to step up and turn that thing back in. The linebacker was caught outside in no man's land, and Gordon's speed's real good, so it just ran right by him.
We'll catch our breath for a minute. That game last year, 42-41. Easton led it early, 15-0. EA came back. It was a 35-35 game in the 4th quarter. Easton lined up for a go-ahead field goal with about 4 minutes left, ran a fake field goal for a touchdown. Kicked the extra point, took a 42-35 lead. Easton drove it the length of the field, scored on the final play of the game with zeros on the clock to make it 42-41. And we've seen Jerry Phillips do it before, and he told me today, I'll do it again. He went for 2 in the win and got stopped on the 2-point play just short of the goal line. That is at least 3 times that I know of that he has done that in his young coaching career. He did it last year home against Carr. You remember that, 35-34. He did it previously against Carr in a regular season game.
And here's the deal with that. There's a lot that goes into each situation when you make that call to go for 2 for the win. Not every situation is the same every time.
And a lot of times you're on the road. That's what he felt like that night. You're on the road,
Momentum, health, how fresh your running back is.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that go into that.
This time they'll give it to Jacal Winder. Did not play last week against Carr. Jerry Phillips said we would see him tonight, and he gets 5 on his first touch.
Same play right there. They get a nice job. Problem is Marcellus Taylor isn't coming from his outside position and falling back inside to turn that back in.
This time they'll try to stretch it, and a nice job by the EA defense forcing it back inside. One of those guys, number 91, that is the defensive lineman Alex Lambert, who helped turn it inside, and only a gain of 1 on the play. It's 3rd and 4. EA enters the red zone. Easton enters the red zone at the 19-yard line.
Still the tempo offense. Stop, look over, check with me on the sideline, see what the pre-snap alignment is, get the call in by the coach, and then you're ready to go.
Need to get it to the 15. They will give it away. Once again, that's Winder. They're going to say he was down. It looks like either at or inside the 10-yard line. But it's going to be a first down, Easton. Let's see where they spot it. It'll decide whether it's first and goal or if they can make a first down. I believe they're putting it inside the 10-yard line. In fact, they're putting it on the 10. So you still, that's just the same. It's first and goal.
Winder's got a nice little burst, Lenny. He pops right there. He sees the hole, and he just kind of squirts up inside. Not that time, though.
Lost about a yard right there as that was well snuffed out.
Well, the right offensive tackle, which was Carmelo Crump, got blown up at the line of scrimmage by the big defensive end from East Ascension. I believe that was number 91. Blew him up and stuffed everything back into the backfield that time. No place for Winder to go.
Winder's now out, and that's Gordon back in at running back. Winder carried it 4 times in a row. Gordon had a couple of carries before that. Popped some big ones, 21 and 23 yards to start this drive. From the 11, first pass we've seen on the drive. Connolly will stay on his feet. He's going to be dragged down from behind at about the 6.
Martez Scott applies the pressure for EA. He just comes up with a handful of jersey as Conley just gets out of that thing. Conley's real elusive. He just kind of steps up into the pocket. He gives a little, takes a little, kind of a little dead leg here, that there, and he's hard to break down.
Third and goal at the 6. They will run it. And Gordon falls forward to about the 3, maybe the 2. Let's see where they spot it. They'll put it down at the 3-yard line, and this looks like 4-down territory. 4th and goal at the 3-yard line. Biggest play of the game thus far. Give it away. Gordon, and he is met almost immediately and is finished off by Marcellus Taylor, the senior outside linebacker, and Easton will be stopped on downs down inside the 5-yard line, and EA will take over.
Marcellus Taylor was there to make the hit, and also Ronte Jones, a junior linebacker, 5'11", 240 pounds, comes down and just lights everything up. No place to go right there. It was a loss. Big decision right there made by Jerry Phillips to go for it. Again, situation. You feel like you had a fresh set of running back legs in there. You feel like you're moving the ball well. Let's take that shot. Let's try to go on top early. Didn't work out for him.
So from the 3-yard line, going under center this time is done, and the running back Samuel was met right away. Might have gotten it back to the line of scrimmage.
You got to make sure down here you secure that snap. You're so close to your end zone, you don't want to give up 2 points. Everything's just got to be perfect down here. So you're going to try to pound that thing out of there and try to get a little breathing room. You know what else I like down here? I always like some sort of quick play action off of a fade. You got one-on-one up to the top of your screen. Would be a great time to throw a little fade.
Give it away once again, and it looks like all Samuel got is again back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 10.
Just trying to get the ball out of there, just trying to get some breathing room. The down I would have thrown it on would have been 2nd down. I'd have taken that fade shot on that one-on-one right there. I might even throw a little play-action pass in off of it to see if that corner that's in man is glancing back inside to see what's going on in the backfield, to give your receiver a step.
One of the things you don't have here in this stadium, like you do in others, is a play clock. There's not a play clock that you can take a look at.
Okay, so no play clock. What's going to happen, the quarterback needs to keep his eyes on the back judge in the middle of the field, who is right at about the 30-yard line. When he puts his hand up, there's 5 seconds left on the clock.
And I don't think did they call timeout? I believe they might have.
I think we've got a timeout by EA. The hand was up as they were breaking the huddle, and they weren't going to get that play off. Right. So you always train your quarterback, number 1, know where the play clock is. Number 2, no play clock. The guy standing in the middle of the field is going to be the person to let you know when you're within 5 seconds of the clock running out.
Now a public service announcement for you here. Our Crescent City Sports colleague Ken Trahan normally on Friday nights has the original, of course, with the schedule being what it is and so many games on Thursday this week. across the state. He is moving his show to Thursday night for this week only. So if you normally tune in on Friday nights to catch the original, tune in tomorrow night on the original network statewide, locally in New Orleans. That's 106.1 Nash Icon. Keep up with everything going on around the state. By the way, in the countdown of the original show tomorrow night, he's going to have as a special guest LHSAA Executive Director Eddie Bonar. Well, I'm sure he's got a lot to talk about. Besides just getting the football season going again from coronavirus, then you have everything that he and his office have had to deal with over the last 72 hours with games being rescheduled.
Right, everything getting rescheduled, sites being rechanged. There's some teams that have changed opponents 3 times just today.
Yep. Taking a shot down the field on 3rd down, and it's caught. That is the tight end, Jaquel Mack, called his name earlier.
I was kind of confused by those routes right there. They had 2 guys right in the same vicinity. Jaquel was right there, all right, and there was another receiver. I didn't catch his number, so they're about ready to bump into each other, and all of a sudden Jaquel Mack turns around, the ball's right there. He decides to catch it.
There you go. First down of the evening for East Ascension. It comes just past the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. So we'll tick under a minute now. Play action. Once again, it's Mack. Got a little running room. Breaks a couple of tackles. Gets out to a first down at the 29-yard line.
Mack's a nice-looking kid. He looks like he's I don't have the heights and weights on there.
6'1", 175. I think he's probably a little thicker than that.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's a nice-looking kid. He's got a nice set of hands. They'll use him in the backfield as an H-back, put him in motion, let him do some blocking. They'll keep him in on protections. Very athletic.
Yeah, it's one thing if you can do that within the concept of a spread offense. If you've got somebody who can be a flexible type of player that can line up as a fullback, line up as an H-back, across the board, all the different things.
Well, it's all about athleticism, and that's what offensive coordinators are looking for today. Sure. Those guys that can do multiple things. I mean, we see it on Sunday, we see it on Saturday, and now you're seeing it at the high school level. And no more does the kid come into high school and say, Coach, I'm a tailback. You might be a tailback, you might be an X, a Y, a Z, and a tailback. And in high school, we might use you on defense. You might catch punts, kickoffs. You know, it's about your athleticism and what you bring to the table to help the team. It's at all levels now.
Yeah.
That's number 7 of the Saints.
No doubt. After no gain by the running back, Kendall Washington, as the final play of the first quarter. 12 minutes in the books. No score here from Victory Field at Joe Brown Park. Back with our second quarter right after this. You are watching high school football from Crescent City Sports.
They call it the
We're on 29-yard line.
Second quarter underway here from New Orleans East. This is done on the move. Will reach forward. They're going to call him down at about the 34-yard line. He reached out with the football. After the ball hit the ground is when it bounced out.
Great coverage downfield by Warren Easton. Allowed the rush to get to the quarterback. Dunn does a nice job just stepping up into the hole right there and scattering out of there and getting a nice yardage. And he's got now a manageable 3rd down.
3rd and 5 at the 34. And that's the one thing I always remember Rich Rodriguez talking about it too. When you get in a situation, you You get backed up in the shadow of your goalpost, the coming out offense. The goal there is to get 2 first downs so you could try to flip the field a little bit. You know,
no doubt. It's
change field position.
Right, situational offense.
And they've gotten 2 first downs here. Now it's 3rd and 5, a chance probably to get a 3rd. And whistles. Delay of game.
All right, I mean, this is another issue with maybe preparation. But you're in week 2. You got to be able to get that call in from the boundary.
Some of that is, and maybe some of that is you're used to having a play clock to be able to look at. It's hard to get used to a different situation.
You took the words right out of my mouth. The second
that's
thing
part of preparation
is knowing where your play clock is, and now no play clock, and making sure you look at that official to get the call in. But that offensive coordinator or the signal coach on the boundary, if he's getting his calls from the top, needs to get that in quicker. It could be in the communication from top to bottom, or from bottom to the field.
Coming your way.
On 3rd and 10. Stepping up and letting it fly, and the receiver, Neville Chopin, had a step, but it was overthrown by Dunn. First time we've called Chopin's name tonight. He's an Ohio University commit. Had some other offers in state, but chose the FBS offer to go to the Mid-American Conference. And now it's 4th down and 10.
Nice pressure that time by Warren East and Sidney Humble. He came off the edge, applied pressure to Dunn. Dunn steps up, avoids the rush, and then airs it out just maybe 2 yards off the intended receiver's hands.
The first time we saw Tellez, the snap went over his head. Let's see what happens here. This is more on target, and he will get it away. This will be returned by Allred Luke, and he gets it back up towards midfield, now past midfield to about the EA 48-yard line.
A lot better snap that time. I'm sure they got on the boundary, and they ironed that problem out real quick. But it sets up great field position for this Warren Easton offense.
So they will start at the 49-yard line of East Ascension.
Another set of fresh legs back in at tailback. You got Winder back in there.
And going nowhere right there is Connolly. I think he wanted to step up and was brought down in the backfield. I think that was
number
62. Kelvin Gray was among the guys back there. He's a freshman playing on this defensive line.
And also cleaning it up was Thomas Lee Jr., the junior defensive end. Was also in on that.
So 2nd down and 16. Show option this time. Try to get to the edge with Winder. He will get back to the original line of scrimmage. Step out at the 49.
Little lead option. They had a lead blocker on that time. Difference between a speed option where there's no blocker out there. They're trying to option the outside linebacker at the top of your screen. He reads him, and then he pitches off the outside linebacker, which he did to Winder. Winder took the ball out of bounds. At least got it back to their starting spot on 1st down. Brings up 3rd and 10.
Line to make the 39-yard line. After a loss of 6 and a gain of 6. Going to go to Luke this time near side on that little screen. Got some blockers out there, and he picked up nearly 20 yards. It didn't look like much was going to happen there, but he got that wall of blockers out in front of him. He kind of ran along with them and picked up 19.
Well, all with Luke is exciting. All you have to do is give him a crease, and that's what the 2 blockers did out there out of a trips formation. They got the ball out to him real fast. He splits it vertically. All you have to do is get into that crease. Now they're not hitting you as square, and you're scooting off for a huge gain right there and a 1st down for the Eagles.
Quintrell Johnson had to leave the game. I believe he was the player who lost his helmet blocking out in front of Luke. Luke will take it this time. That again is a pass. It's an extended handoff, basically, and he gets in
Right side.
for a first down right at the marker. The line of the game was the 20. It looks like he's right there for a first down.
You know, we were looking at Luke's stats from last week, and now I can see why he might have some of these running stats and some of these passing stats.
Right, these are passes. Okay?
Right,
So
these are passes. Last week they had him for 9 receptions, 169 yards, and 2 TDs. I get it.
And they listed 113 yards rushing. It's like, okay, what's up with this?
What's up with that? Unless,
Flag on the play.
They got a flag down. It looked like
unless they moved him into the backfield.
Right, a Spartan jumped into the neutral zone. And, of course, that's dead as soon as you do in high school football, unlike college or pro. Unless there doesn't have to be contact.
No, it does not have to be contact. You either line up in it or you penetrate the nose of the football. That's the neutral zone. Play is immediately called dead.
So, at the 15. Give it away with room to run, and Jay Gordon did not quite get in. He's down at the 1 yard line.
First and goal from the 1.
Jay Gordon just pops it right off tackle on that off tackle stretch play. They're reading the outside linebacker right there, and he just pops it right off tackle, and he scoots through there down to the 1 yard line, just didn't get in.
Gordon will stay in here as a sidecar along Connolly. Up the middle, fighting. I don't think he got there, Wade.
No, it doesn't look like it. That stiffened up defensive line of EA did a nice job that time getting some penetration in the backfield. That's the name of the game when you're down there on the 1 yard line, inside the 1 yard line. You're trying to get as much penetration as you can as a defensive lineman and trip something up. Gap control, gap defense, penetrate.
Connolly, that had all the makings of a quarterback sneak, and it got blown up quickly. First of all, he operated from under center. You could see that crouch. It looked like he was going to sneak it, and
well, let me
the
ask
Spartan
you a
defense saw what he saw.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question. Every other snap in the game's been in the gun. So all of a sudden you come up under center. What's your first flip? Went nowhere. Penetration again by that EA defensive line.
So, 3rd and goal at the 1. Spread it back out here with 4 wide receivers and Gordon alongside. Kedrick Connolly. Give it away to Gordon. Pushes, fights, into the end zone for a touchdown.
Gordon splits 2 defenders right there and gets into the end zone for the first touchdown of the night. They come back still with that off-tackle play that they've been kind of wearing out all night long, and that's the one they go with. He splits the tackles, gets into the end zone. Nice running, nice series for Gordon.
8 plays, 49 yards, 3 minutes, 26 seconds off the clock. Easton's going to operate out of the swinging gate here. And it will be Jorge Vasquez handling the kicking. So Castillo is the kickoff guy. 97. This is 96. Kick is on the way, and it is good. So it's 6:58 remaining here in the first half. Your score, Warren Easton 7, East Ascension nothing. Gives us a chance to remind you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football is brought to you by Gills Bar for more than half a century, offering services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. And they're headquartered on the North Shore. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com. Our thanks to all of our sponsors, Ronnie Lamarck and Lamar Ford, Hank Milton Burger at Gills Bar, Nolan Luke and everyone at Riverlands Insurance back with us again this year. So all the people who help bring you these webcasts from all over Southeast Louisiana and then some possible.
That was a great drive by Warren Easton that time. You know, this helps that you started at your opponent's 49-yard line. But they had some nice plays there, especially led by the wide receiver screen that Oliver Luke catches and just pops out of there for the big first down when they had 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Luke accounted for 29, and Gordon accounted for 15. So 44 of the 49. Here comes a kickoff. Taken in at about the 4-yard line with a seam up the middle that closed quickly. That was Kendall Washington. Gets it out to about the 27-yard line, and that's where EA will begin this drive. 6:52 remaining in the first half. After 42-41 a year ago, you expected maybe some more offensive fireworks than what we've seen. I think we've seen two defenses that have held up fairly well so far, though. Even EA, they've given up some yards, but they've stiffened up in the red zone. They got the fourth down stop. Even the ball was at the 1 yard line. It took 3 shots for Easton to get it in for a touchdown. Dunn will move the pocket. He's in trouble. He is going to be brought down inside the 10-yard line.
A whole host of Warren Easton Eagles were there, led by number 92, leading that pack. That was Rennell Ruth. But, you're talking about that. Oh, we got
an injured player, yeah.
But getting back to what you were just saying, Lenny, it's funny how teams every year take on different personalities. So, you're averaging, I don't know, as an offense the year before, you're averaging, say, 34 points a game. The next year, you're averaging 17, all right, but you're giving up less points than you did the year before. Your defense matures within a year. A lot of things take place within the lives of these guys that allow teams to take on different personalities.
That's Sidney Humble, the junior defensive tackle, who will come off. A name we have not called tonight who's in there right now. Big guy in the middle is number 99, Sean Washington. He's a junior, and he is an LSU commit. He is ranked the number 12 player in the class of 2022 by 247 Sports, a 4-star prospect. Had a couple of tackles against Carr.
He is a nice-looking young man.
He's listed at 6'3", 297, but I think he looks looks bigger than that.
He has all the numbers.
Quick slant on second down and 28. It is brought in by Jordan Goodlow. First time we've called his name tonight.
Nobody under the receiver right there. No linebacker drop, nothing to be able to wall off the number 2 receiver on the quick slant. If they don't wall off the quick slant with somebody underneath it or line somebody up on it to take it away, that should be there all night long for East Ascension.
So they had 2nd and 28. They got half of it back. It's 3rd and 14.
See, now they move somebody out there to it. Now there's the motion that takes it away.
Shift with it. Low snap is handled, but running for his life and nowhere to go.
Number 7, Wheat, quarterback.
And brought down, that was Jonathan Williams, the senior linebacker. Brought him down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2. And it's 4th and 16, and it'll be a punting situation for the Spartans. And we've hit the hydration break with 5:43 remaining in quarter number 2. A quick look at the numbers thus far here. And East Ascension has been held to 15 total yards. Now, you got a loss of 23 on that bad punt snap. You got a loss of 18 on that sack. So that's minus 41 right there.
They've been applying pressure all night. Dunn's not able to set his feet and throw the ball very well.
Right. But 102 yards, making 103 yards for Warren Easton.
Like to say,
90 of it from their 2 big threats, and like we talked about, the running back Jay Gordon and the wide receiver Alred Luke.
I would like to see East Ascension getting back to their workhorse, Walter Samuel, who was their workhorse last week, running downhill in between the tackles a little bit and getting more physical with that big offensive line of theirs.
Now they're going back to Wheat, so clearly they're going to alternate punters here. This is not a situation that you're thinking about a fake, obviously. Fair catch called for by Luke at the 40-yard line. 39-yard punt.
Nice punt right there. I mean, I'm wondering why he's not the player the whole time. Plus, you add the little inception of putting in some sort of fake off of it.
You get it's still pre-district. You get 2 guys who are in there with a chance, and if you've got an injury, you got something. You're getting guys ready.
There you go. You're right. Especially Wheat plays other positions, so no doubt.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line of Easton here. Winder is the running back to open this series. Alongside Connolly, trips to the top of your screen. And jumping the gun there was the defensive tackle for East Ascension, Kelvin Gray, called his name earlier, the freshman, that time. And the thing about it, you and I talked about it last week, he's the nose guard. He is right over the football.
Yeah, you don't listen to the quarterback. I mean, the guy that does that the greatest in the world is Aaron Rodgers, right? How many times did you see that happen the other night, right? So, I mean, he gets hard counted. He should line it up right over the ball. You don't listen to the hard count.
1st and 5, they will give it away to the running back Winder. Flag comes in from the side.
Winder on the carry. Flag on the play.
That could be holding by one of the receivers, perhaps, or something on the edge. Let's see. Wait for the signal.
It's a weird flag that usually happens on that type of play from a side judge.
Holding is the call.
Holding on the
It was
Eagles.
downfield.
So it had to be downfield by the receiver if it's called wings.
So it'll be a 2-yard gain for Winder and then a 10-yard penalty. So now it's going to be 1st down and 13. It was 1st and 5. Now it's 1st and 13. Ball at the 37, and now we got another flag. Offside against the defense.
I'm watching these guys jump off sides. It's like immediately they know it. They turn and run off the field, and their substitute comes on for them.
Exactly.
So
they know you commit a penalty, you're out.
Right. It's very respectful. I get it. They run over and they're getting chewed out by their coach immediately on the boundary. It's like they're running over with their tail between their legs, and they know they're about ready to get a chewing.
And now it's 1st and 8. We have seen as this pass is incomplete in the direction of Allred Luke. All right, but here's before that play, Wade. We had 1st and 10, offside on the defense, and then it's 1st and 5.
Right.
A downfield holding call after a 2-yard gain. It made it 1st and 13. Another offside on the defense that made it 1st and 8. Now it's 2nd and 8.
Okay. How do you move the ball without snapping the ball?
There you go. We've seen it move 3 times and the down not change. Stepping up and throwing, and it's caught. And that will be a 1st down. That is Leon Elwa. First time we've called his name this evening, the junior wide receiver. He will get
1st down, Eagles.
Say that, yeah. Is that right? Yeah, no, exactly. He had...
he got the sticks.
Right, he got the sticks.
He ran his curl route, very nice curl route, at the correct yardage right there.
Yeah, I wrote some numbers down incorrectly.
Nice
it's at the 49. Here's your speed option. Fumbled. And on the ground, it looks like East Ascension's got it. Right in and out of the hands of Winder as Connolly tried to pitch it. And it will be East Ascension football. I believe that may have been, was that 78, DeMarcus Esther that fell on it over there?
It was either 78 or number 25, Malachi McDougal. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me give you another name.
Joshua Burfict.
I'm sorry, sophomore linebacker. Both of them were around the ball, but here's the thing. If they control that pitch right there, the whole corner had collapsed. Winder would have just scooted down that boundary for a huge gain, but he took his eyes off the ball, looked like he was ready to run before he had the ball in his hands.
On 1st down, a new quarterback in the game, and he immediately throws an interception. They went to Weed at quarterback, and he is picked off by Ramon Stevens, I'm sorry. The senior cornerback was getting some college attention as well, some FCS offers. He's been offered by Alcorn, Lamar, McNeese. So he'll get a chance to play college football, and a nice play right there.
Wheat's throw very underthrown right there. He comes in cold from the boundary. I would think he would have been warmed up. And he tries to air it out. They try to run a vertical down the boundary. He just underthrows it, and it's a great play on the ball by Ramon Stevens. Huge turn of events right there, right when East Ascension had the opportunity, getting the big turnover, maybe putting a drive together and sticking one in and going in at halftime 7-7.
On the plus side of the 50 as well.
Correct, exactly.
So on 1st down, they will give it away to Jay Gordon, and he will pick up 4.
This is a nice little running back tandem between Gordon and
Winder.
Yeah.
We may also see DeQuinta Mason tonight.
It's a nice little 1-2 punch.
And again, with Winder, didn't play in the opener. Fresh set of legs. Here's Luke on the catch. Flag comes in, and he's out to about the 39-yard line. Would be a first down, but let's see what the marker's about.
I think we're going to get a block in the back up on right around the 30-yard line. Boy, Aldrin Luke is exciting, isn't he? He gets the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
He can make some things happen. It's either a hold or a block in the back. It's a hold right out on the boundary again.
They moved it up to the 30. It'll be a hold.
Second time we've seen that tonight out on the boundary.
Put it down at the 21-yard line. So it's downfield again.
Ball is spotted at the 21.
So it'll be second down and 13 from the 21. Gain of 3 and then a 10-yard penalty. Coming this way. Pass is caught. It's Tyron Johns, the sophomore. He's going to be called down at the 38-yard line. Ball came out, but after he hit the ground, had it not been called down, that could have been a scoop and score and tied this football game up, Wade.
Absolutely, because there was nobody within the next 30 yards to run it down.
It's a gain of 17 and a first down.
First down, Eagles. Takes it to the 39-yard line.
You know, East Ascension just basically hasn't gotten out of their three-man front all night long, and they're really not applying much pressure to the quarterback. And I'd like to see them laying a little bit more blitzes defense with some of those three linebackers that they have inside there.
It's Gordon on the carry. He will get
He'll get 6.
about 6 on first down. Keep yourself in situations where you have some choices out there. He does a good job of that.
Well, you're going to have to start moving some people around on defense here a little bit, maybe slanting them, some run blitzes, things of that nature, because they're really tearing them up on the right off tackle play.
Pass is caught. First down.
Conley's pass is complete
That was
to number 18.
that was Quintrell Johnson, senior.
Nice move after catch.
They will put it down at the 49 to 50-yard line. Check it. Midfield. Gain of 6. Clock ticks down under 2.5 minutes. We're away on first down, and a nice-looking run right there by Jay Gordon to get it out to the 42-yard line.
Still pounded that off-tackle stretch play right there. Some people call it an off-tackle bounce. Some people call it off-tackle stretch. He's reading the outside hip of that offensive tackle. If it collapses down, they're giving the ball right there, and they're not getting any type of support from those linebackers. They're going to have to do something to slant or bring a linebacker or do something to blitz.
Putting in the air on 2nd and 2. It's caught. And stepping out of bounds is Johns at the 32-yard line, a gain of 10.
Getting up another Eagle first down.
And a whistle. And a timeout is called by East Ascension.
That's East Ascension's second timeout of the half.
So down to one timeout with 1:46 remaining.
Warren Easton has all of them left, and they're in complete control of the clock as well as moving the ball offensively. You know, I come from the school of thought defensively, whereas if I'm sitting in my base all night and I'm just tearing you up, I don't need to move. But if it isn't working, then I might have to start giving you a different look, different movement, something a little bit to make you have to adjust to me defensively, and that's just not what we're seeing in this first half from East Ascension. Now, a lot of that could have to do with the short week of preparation, not knowing exactly what you're going to get in formations, blocking schemes, but still, you're going to have to try to do something to be able to stop what they're doing to you over and over and over again, and that's that off-tackle run play, which they're having a tremendous amount of success with. Off-tackle bounce, off-tackle stretch.
So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line as we resume with 105 seconds to play here before halftime, and Easton looking to play add-on to a 7-0 lead.
You got a nice
Trips to the top.
Right, nice one-on-one down here at the bottom.
Goes that way, and it's Luke, his favorite target, out to about the 26-yard line.
Very nice job by the corner down here. Number 29 from East Ascension, tackling Luke. That was Kendrick Broussard, a junior defensive back. I tell you what, that's a tall order when I'm one-on-one with that guy with the ball in my face.
So it'll be 2nd and 4 at the 26-yard line when we resume with 1:34 remaining in the first half. What do you think about what we've seen so far? I mean, I think it's been, look, have we seen a little bit of sloppiness that you might expect on a short week? Yes.
In some points, yes.
Yeah, but I think we're seeing two very talented football teams out there as well, and that still is showing above all of that. Credit coaching staffs for really putting in, I would say, overtime in the past 2 days to try to get their kids ready and dialed in. Plus, it's what was done weeks beforehand, running your base offensive sets, your base offensive plays, your base defensive plays, base defensive coverages, right? Okay? So if you have those base things in and you're ready to in motion adjust, it shouldn't be much problem for your kids. We mentioned there's about 40 games going on around the state tonight. We'll catch you up on some of them when we get to halftime. Of course, get all the scores on our All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard at CrescentCitySports.com as they will give it away. Trying to get the edges. Winder. Flag comes in. Another flag comes in from the official who was down at about the end zone. Winder had enough for the first down, but I would expect this is coming back, Wade.
I would think we've got some sort of holdout on the flank again. I don't know what the second second flag would be, but unless maybe he saw a face mask or something over there that the wing official just could not see.
While we wait for them to sort it out and give us the call, it is a hold.
Holding against the Eagles is the
Here's
call.
one score we'll get to at halftime. Second quarter score from Baton Rouge. Carr leads Catholic 12-0.
Say that
Remember,
again.
Carr leads Catholic 12-0 second quarter up in Baton Rouge. Now,
that's
here's
two
what
heavyweights fighting.
Yeah, here's what you want to know.
Second down and 8.
It's going to be 2nd down and 8 as they got it downfield after the gain of 6. So that's the third time we've already seen that in the first half where you got a play that was called downfield where you got the holding penalty downfield for Warren Easton. Taking a shot toward the end zone. Luke, no flag. Defender slipped, and Luke tried to go over him and lost his footing, but it was Kendrick Broussard, the junior, out there in coverage for East Ascension.
Kendrick Broussard saw that guy running right past him, and that was one of those, oh boy, and he accidentally trips, and that was the best defense he could have right there. Because that didn't allow Luke. It broke his stride. He would have probably ran under that ball and scored.
That's only the second incompletion tonight for Connolly. He'll take a shot down on 3rd and 8. Goes near side and will be well short of the first down.
Definitely 4-down territory here. I
believe that was Winder on the catch. 5. He'll get maybe a yard. Yep.
I mean, I definitely do not believe that Warren Easton has a kid that can kick this far right here. So you're definitely looking at 4th and what is that, about 8, 7?
7, I believe.
Right there. So it's 4-down territory. They got to go.
Line to make is the 22. The ball is at the 29.
Man coverage. You've got man down here at the bottom on both receivers.
going towards the top, and it is a catch and a first down. That was Elwha on the catch. Gain of 10.
Elwha runs a stick route right at the boundary, and the ball was put right on the button by Conley. Nice throw by Conley right there. Big first down, big pickup right there for the Easton Eagles.
So from the 19. Give it away. This is Winder on the carry. Might have gotten about a yard. I think we got a timeout.
Yeah,
and I think we've got one with 39.2 remaining.
That should be Warren Easton's second timeout, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're right. Yeah, they took one right after the first down play on the previous set of downs.
So, they still can run the ball one more time within that 39 seconds and call a timeout. But you got to start thinking about putting that ball into the end zone to get your best shots right here, and you got to start thinking about number one.
Just so you're not confused on your screen right now, they actually count down the timeouts on the clock here, so it's not the clock continuing to run, where I believe it said 38 seconds before the timeout was called.
38 seconds would be what you'd have on the clock. So with 38 seconds, you can still run the ball one at a time because you have a timeout. So when you get in a situation and you want to run that football, you have that in your back pocket. But right now on the boundary, Warren Easton needs to think about how are they going to get the ball in the hands of number one. That's the guy I want to look for right here, somehow, some way, because he's your big play guy.
That was Eagles' second timeout of the half.
It's going to be interesting to see if East
Gordon
Ascension,
back in at running back here. So
I was going to say, Lenny, it's going to be interesting to see if East Ascension comes out and plays man coverage. They tried it a couple times in that past couple of plays, and it just didn't work out for them. They're in press coverage down here at the bottom. So, yes, they are in man free.
There's that little shovel pass, if you will. Not going anywhere.
They'll lose one.
Got to call timeout.
You got to call
timeout. I would have liked to seen Warren Easton do something off of play action pass right there, or something where they would have gotten the ball in the hands of number one real quick on an out slant, or even the tunnel screen right there, and then save that run for maybe second down.
Well, they tried that shovel pass, which is effectively the same as a jet sweep.
Right.
Tried to get him on the edge, and good East Ascension, they snuffed it out. Yes, statistically, it's a pass.
But on your clock, in this situational football right here, it's a run.
Yeah. So that's already 6 catches now. I believe that's 3 more conventional and 3 of the shovel pass jet sweep variety for Luke here in the first half.
So here we go. Warren Easton out of timeouts with
29.9.
29 seconds going from the Easton 20-yard line. Now you got to think end zone on the next, 2 plays.
You know what I saw of the Easton kicker, that was Vasquez, who tried the extra point. The way he kicked the extra point, it doesn't look like 37 yards would be a problem to him. So now the concern is if you're short, the ball's in play. Now you're trying to run the team on the field without being able to stop the clock. And how is that going to work? Because the thing you don't want to have happen here is if something goes wrong in a kicking game and you end up with a play going the other way after you've. I mean, in reality, Easton has dominated this first half, but the scoreboard suggests differently since it's only 7-0. Coming back this way, tried to get it to Tyron Johns, incomplete, and it's 4th down. And it looked like the field goal was about to come on, and he said, "Nip, not so fast."
That's why you, in that instance, you could have ran that stick out on the boundary, break your route off right at the sticks. Right now, you got to think, where are your sticks, or you're thinking end zone?
Going back, far side, caught. Rolled it to the right, threw it back near side. It's caught for a first down. Are they going to? Oh, let's see here. I think this is short.
It looks short by about a yard.
Yeah, it's 4th and 1. Or check that. No, that was 4th down. That was 4th down, and it's going to be a yard short of the first down. The catch was made I believe, by Jones on the play.
It was. Now, the problem there, Lenny, is 2 plays actually could have been dialed up. Number 1, a stick out, okay? Because you have no more timeouts. You've got to work that boundary, even though the clock would stop if you move the sticks. And then you better have your play called and ready to go. They worked the center of the field with the sticks. Would have been tough to get there, all right? Second of all, you would need to think your best receiver in the end zone. Would have been 4th down, ball would have came out to the 20. Looks like he's
assuming they kneel here. Well, except for they did kneel, and that should
kneel down.
Do it here for the first half.
And that will bring us to the end of the first half. Your score, Warren 7, East Ascension, nothing.
So 24 minutes in the books here at Victory Field at Joe Brown Park. And your score here at the half, Warren Easton 7 and East Ascension nothing. Wade, your thoughts on what we saw?
Well, I'm impressed with Warren Easton's offense. I think they found things that they could run the ball with. The 1-2 punch of their running back tandem there of Winder and Gordon. Those guys do a great job running that off-tackle stretch play, and I'm really impressed with number 1, Alfred Luke. Alred Luke, I'm sorry. You got to get the ball in his hands more. I would have loved to see him there in crunch time within those last 20 seconds or so, getting the ball in his hands on one of those plays during that particular drive. They've seemed to, Warren Easton has seemed to dial up the right things to do defensively, and that's to get pressure on the quarterback from East Ascension, Troy Dunn. Troy Dunn's having a hard time getting the ball out of there. I think in the locker room at halftime, what East Ascension is going to have to do, they've got to discover their running game again. They've just kind of abandoned the whole running game idea. We haven't seen them run much since the first quarter. They got to come back and get the ball in the hands of their workhorse, Walter Samuel, and to try to establish a little more dominance up front. That will help with the throwing game.
No doubt. Let's take a look at some of the scores on our Crescent City Sports scoreboard, courtesy of the All-State Sugar Bowl, where you get all the scores from around the state. No better place to get them. And we hope you do. A couple of finals in the books. There was a 5 o'clock game. There was a 2 o'clock game. Kennedy defeated Douglas 26-20. And Chalmette over Grace King 42-0. Those are the first 2 finals of the week. Fourth quarter, Episcopal. I was impressed with what I saw of Episcopal last week against Country Day. And they're blanking Pope John Paul II tonight 42-0. That's up in Baton Rouge. Second quarter score, Madison leads General Trask 12-0. General Trask went to Evangel and won last week. That was an impressive.
That was the score that jumped out at me. Yeah. Every score I saw on Friday Night Football with JT and
Ed Daniels.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ed.
That's okay.
Ed Daniels, my friend Ed Daniels, and that turned my head immediately when I saw that score.
Yeah. At halftime, down at home, Ellender leads McMain 21-0. Second quarter, Iowa over Marksville 18-6. Second quarter, Grand Lake leads Maryville 20-0. That's a district game in 4-1A. Second quarter, Iota over South Beauregard 7-0. Halftime, Albany leads DeQuincy 12-6. First quarter, they're playing this one at Memphis. This is now known as the Wayne Reese Classic. Carver and McDonough 35, scoreless between those teams. And
right.
Easton and Carr paid tribute to Don Watney last week with their game, who passed away during the offseason. Carver and 35 paying tribute to the late Wayne Reese.
And as they should.
As they should.
As they should. Both schools.
Exactly. First quarter, Fisher and Haynes are scoreless. First quarter, Higgins and Bonneville, they are playing that one at Bertolino in front of no fans. That game is scoreless. Halftime, East Jefferson leading Riverdale. That's at Joe Yenny, 28-7. First quarter, St. Thomas Aquinas and Pine are scoreless. Second quarter, Hahnville over Terrebonne, 20-7 on a 7-5A game. And another 7-5A game down in Houma. H.L. Bourgeois leads East St. John 7-6 against second quarter. Halftime, Assumption leading Denham Springs 6-3. Second quarter, Eunice leading Brobridge 14-0. Second quarter, Berwick and Rain are tied at 14. First quarter, Laurentian leads Covenant Christian 14-0. Second quarter, St. Thomas More over Walker 26-7. Now, if you were with us last week, you probably heard us mention St. Thomas More was going to play Rummel this week because of everything associated with the Storms, because of Rummel's exam schedule, so many moving parts, they could not come to an agreement to be able to play the game. So so quickly, STM picked up Walker, which lost their game against Landry. And by the way, Easton plays Landry next week. That game is kind of uncertain at this point.
Because of COVID, huh?
Right. The school district would not confirm that, but that was the report that we got from a couple of different sources, that it was a positive COVID test on the Landry team.
Right.
And so you've got, is that game going to happen next week? It seemed like it wasn't going to, but in talking to Jerry Phillips, it sounded like it wasn't definitely off yet. It could still happen. Halftime, Varnado leading Slaughter 14-8. Second quarter, down in the Bayou, South Terrebonne leading Patterson 24-13. Second quarter, Dutchtown also down in the Bayou leading Vanderbilt Catholic 21-7. Second quarter, Pearl River over Springfield 27-0. An update on that game at Memorial in Baton Rouge, one of the blockbusters of the week. Ed Nakar, the four-time defending 4A champion, has been Easton's nemesis. They lead Catholic 20-7. If you remember last year, Catholic put a two-car in Baton Rouge.
Right.
It was car doesn't get taken to the woodshed very often, but this was the woodshed was out on this night, and I'm sure Bryce Brown reminded his team of that even on a short week.
Right.
Second quarter, West St. Mary leads Houma Christian 22-0. Second quarter, Montgomery leads Pine Prairie 32-6. Halftime, Abbeville over Beauchene 14-0. Second quarter, St. Mary's up in Natchitoches leading Oakdale 13-7. These two teams are 0-1 playing tonight, and let me tell you, ordinarily, if this was 20 years ago, this would be the game of the year in Louisiana high school football. Evangel and West Monroe playing a non-district game tonight.
Just saying both of those teams are 0-1 right now.
Exactly.
Is the, what's the word I want to say, a phenomenon?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't happen very often, no question about it.
It does not.
Opelousas Catholic leading Kinder 7-6 second quarter. Second quarter, Jennings over Cecilia 17-14. Second quarter, a district game, Lafayette over Como 14-0. Second quarter, Southside leads Karen Crow 10-8. Karen Crow went to West Monroe and won last week. Another of those games that kind of went off on your radar when you saw that score.
Right.
Second quarter, Westgate leading Tara 31-0. Second quarter, Catholic of New Iberia looking to bounce back. They got handled pretty well by De La Salle in week one. Catholic leading Delcom 16-0. And that's what we have at this point of games going on tonight. A whole slew of them tomorrow. Just maybe a half dozen or so on Friday. And then there are some games still sitting there on Saturday. We'll see how things are once Delta passes. Obviously, there have been some changes on a lot of schedules, not just the high school front. We got the news today that the LSU-Missouri game was moving to Columbia, Missouri, an earlier kickoff at 11 a.m. to allow LSU to be able to get back into town when it was still daylight. And then also word coming late this afternoon that the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns game scheduled for Saturday against Coastal Carolina has been postponed until Wednesday. What was interesting there is that game was originally scheduled to be played a week from Saturday. They moved it up so the Cajuns, who lost their game that was scheduled to be played tonight against Appalachian State because App has a series of COVID positives, that game got moved to the end of the year, and then this game got moved up a week, and now they're going to slide it back again another 4 days. So the Cajuns are playing a little musical chairs with their schedule, if you will.
The name of the game this year, if we want football, is everybody needs to be flexible.
Adapt,
I mean, adapt. You might have to prepare on short schedules. You might have to change opponents after you've gotten ready for somebody for 2 days, day one, day two, and then all of a sudden your opponent changes on day three, and you're scrambling on day 3 and day 4 to play an opponent. So the name of the game in COVID-19 in 2020 especially in the state of Louisiana. And I got to think it's the same way in a lot of states around this country. High schools, colleges, as well as even in the NFL, you got to be flexible.
Well, I'll give you, you talk about that. Salmon last week. Salmon found out on Thursday, I believe, that Belle Chase had positives and had to cancel their game. They picked up an opponent from Mississippi, St. Martin, from over on the Mississippi coast, on 1 day notice and played them on Friday. They just wanted to play.
Right.
You can sit there, and it was the same boat, I believe, for St. Martin. I believe they lost their opponent, and so they quickly matched up. You don't have time to scout. You just got to go out and do what it is that you do best.
Correct.
And deal with it that way. But again, you've seen changes. St. Thomas More picked up Walker yesterday, and they're playing tonight. So those kind of things are going to happen. We were getting word today of games that were scheduled for Thursday, and they said, we're getting a little too close for comfort there. We're moving this game up to tonight. So on the day of the game, you're changing it from tomorrow night to tonight to be able to, make sure you play. And that's, look,
right.
These kids have worked too hard, and these coaches have worked too hard for the opportunity to be able to get a season going. Everything is not fair and everything is not perfect, but you're getting the chance to play football.
Well, and that gets into, and we were talking about it in the pregame a little bit before kickoff, about a short week like this. It's about what you do. In many instances, it's not about so much what your opponent's doing. Now, there are in-game adjustments, like I've been talking about in the first half, or what I'd like to see a couple of teams do as far as an adjustment is concerned. But when you're going into a game, it's about what you do with your base offensive packages and what do you do with your base defensive packages. Everybody is taught to play technique. How well do you play that technique? Then, out of those base packages, you've got to be able to adjust on the run to what your opponent is doing. That's just the name of the game. Think about this. Think about when this game first came out, and there was not film. Nobody filmed games. The Newt Rockne was one of the first guys that started with the use of film. Okay? Actually filming his games and teaching from it. Back then, there was no film. There was maybe some scouting done, but other than that, it was about what you did, and you made adjustments on the fly during a game. And that's what's going to happen when you have some of these flexibility schedules that are changing on the run with COVID as well as with hurricanes.
Now, of course, with technology, even just a few years ago when you were about to play an opponent, you made this drive a few times. I'm sure that I think it was the old Piccadilly Cafeteria in Alexandria. You were playing a team from North Louisiana. You ended up meeting at the Piccadilly.
Yeah.
You handed off.
Oh yeah.
You handed off film there.
Oh yeah. Or if you're playing somebody in Shreveport, you're meeting up on I-55 at the the Tallulah cutoff, or the cutoff right there that takes you up to Monroe off of I-55. I can't think of the name of the highway, but there's a gas station right there. I've had coaches from West Monroe there many times. So absolutely, there's the Piccadilly right there, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So, but of course, in these days of huddle and technology,
Correct.
Your film is there. You just give somebody permission to be able to access whatever film you're going to allow them to access. They do the same. You hit a download button in a few minutes. You've got film.
I'm going to date myself here. I was coaching when I would have to go to I was coaching in the river parishes down in the home area at Vanderbilt Catholic High School when we were using 16 millimeter film, and I would have to go to the Howard Johnsons in Thibodaux at 5 a.m. in the morning because the bus was coming in to drop off the 16 millimeter film from the night before that was sent to New Orleans to get developed. So me, the young guy on the totem pole, was sent at 5 in the morning to pick up the film and have it with donuts, coffee, in the coach's office for 7 o'clock to go to work on Saturday morning.
Hope you got the right donuts.
I got the right donuts.
There you go. Let's take a look at our first half numbers. And Wade, the thing that jumps off the page at you there is you look at the total yards, and it's all Warren Easton. It doesn't look like this is a 7-0 game by any means, but Easton drove the ball up and down the field, and got stopped at the 3-yard line, got stopped at the 10-yard line. They did punch it in the one time, but EA,
Right.
again, they had that, they lost 23 yards on that bad punt snap, and they lost 18 yards on that sack. So that's -4. That would you take those plays away, and that's actually 61 yards there, and that's why the rushing numbers look like they do. It's the -20 yards rushing. So that -41 of that is those two plays. But even with that, that's a pretty dominant performance that doesn't necessarily show on the scoreboard at this point.
And the thing I like about it is it's balanced.
Yeah, 97-91. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
balanced. It's balanced run pass. I'd like to see Warren Easton get the ball into number one's hands a little bit more. I mean, he's so electrifying when he gets out there on the edge, especially in some of those tunnel screens, which we've only seen them run once, maybe twice tonight. Get that game going with number one. And then from the East Ascension end of things, I understand the snap over the head is going to give you that negative number in the rushing, but they've kind of abandoned their rushing game. We haven't seen it since the first quarter. Samuel's kid last week has a nice game rushing against Northwestern. He's carried the ball tonight for how many times? Four
times, and nothing in. I mean, the only carries in the second quarter were the kneel down, and everything else was by the quarterback.
So they're
a couple of sacks. Yeah, they've not really. Now, some of that, they really haven't had the football. Okay,
correct.
You look at it. They had it. They had it for 2 plays and then a punt at the start of the second quarter when they changed ends. Easton kept the ball for 3:26 to drive for a touchdown. EA went 3 and out. Okay, Easton kept the ball not for terribly long, but still it was. That was the fumble. Then they throw an interception. They changed quarterbacks through the interception on the first play, and then Easton kept the ball for the final, except for 18 seconds for the final 4 minutes and a half. So they did not run. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 offensive plays in the second quarter. So that's not going to get it done.
That's not going to get it done. And the way you fix that is you've got to get the ball into your running back's hands a little bit more, and let's get that offensive line being a little bit more dominant up front.
So we're counting down to the start of the second half, and it's. You mentioned it, the balance from Easton. I've been very impressed thus far with what I've seen from Jay Gordon. Ran for 88 yards and a touchdown a week ago. He's got 78 yards in the first half on 11 carries. And
well, it's a nice 1-2 attack. Yeah. They're alternating Winder and Gordon.
Then Winder's got 9 carries for 26 yards.
So they're doing it by series. So you're getting a little blow for a few plays before your series comes back up, plus defensive snaps, and you've got fresh legs coming in there. I think I made that comment a couple of times in the first half. Another set of fresh legs for Gordon coming in after a rest. And look, I tell you what, that pays big dividends for an offense. That's the reason why today you see teams from the NFL all the way down to high school. You just can't live with that one guy.
By the way, that last Easton drive, you're talking about possessing the football, that last Easton drive that ended at the 10-yard line, 16 plays. They kept it. So, you have the football. Let's see. Just, quick play count here. It looks like 19 plays in the first half for East Ascension, 13 runs and 6 passes. And then for Easton, they ran it 25 times and threw it 16 times. So your play count is 41-19 in favor of Easton.
Right. Well, if you control the ball the whole time, it's hard to get things going offensively if your opponent has the ball.
Easton won the toss and deferred, so they're going to get the football here to start the second half.
That's why those points were so vital going in at halftime. They come away with points right there. They were coming back out with the ball in their hands to the start of the second half. Now, technically, that could almost put a ball game away for you. In a game like tonight.
Yeah, if they could finish. I mean, if they'd have finished those 2 drives with something here, something you make it a 2-score game at that point.
Exactly, and the way you're playing defense tonight, that could have been the difference moving forward the rest of the second half.
We'll see what kind of adjustments were made on both sides as we get ready to start our second half of football. Both teams out warming up. Officials making their way back out onto the field. Coaching staffs making their way to the benches. Both of these head coaches in their fifth year. Darnell Lee was defensive coordinator in 2015, took over as head coach the following year. He's coaching his 50th game as a head coach tonight, 33-16 at East Ascension. He was head coach for 3 years at Northwest previously. Played defensive back at McNeese from 93 to 97. Jerry Phillips, the Easton coach, in his fifth year as head coach, 40-17. He's gotten his team to the semifinals each of his 4 years at Worth, and he's been further than that as well. He's made a couple of finals appearances in there as well. He took, of course, he took Tony Hull's place.
Correct.
And Tony got this program back and going, got them into the Dome, and a good story here. And I don't know if Matt Merritt was able to load this up, but we've been dealing with some gremlins here. Just the lack of AC has got our computer running on hot. Tyron Johnson, who was one of the stars on that first team that got to the Dome for them 6 years ago. First NFL game on Sunday, playing for the LA Chargers, and scored a touchdown in the game on a 53-yard pass from the rookie, Justin Herbert. So we were talking about it earlier. I talked to Bob Remy earlier. I see Arthur Hardy is here tonight, and he probably knows the answer as well.
Right.
Who was the last Warren Easton graduate to score a touchdown in the NFL?
Well, you told me.
I told you, so you can't give it on.
I'm out of the contest.
Yeah, we'll leave that out there for just a minute. We'll come back to it. But that's
Warren Easton is such an intertwined fabric of prep sports in the city of New Orleans. This is one of those questions that people want to know out there, because those people that love prep sports in the city, they follow Warren Easton.
Oh, no doubt about it. Kickoff will bounce at the 2-yard line. The ball now it's going into the end zone for a touchback. Luke was standing at the 5, went over his head, but. And now we got a flag here at the 41-yard line. Don't know what that's about. Let's see.
All right, well, let's first address the decision made by Luke. All right?
It's got to be in the end zone for you not to touch it.
Exactly. He's got to make a better decision on that. He's going to get coached up on the boundary. The next thing is, I believe right at the 40-yard line, there's going to be some sort of personal foul, possibly dead ball by an East Ascension player with some sort of retaliation against a Warren Easton player. I didn't get numbers, but we should see dead ball penalty right here on East Ascension.
It could have been in the course of the kick as well. It's unsportsmanlike both ways.
Both ways.
Offset.
All right, so then there must have been something that went on where there was some sort of pushing, shoving, fisticuffs between both players. Officials doing a nice job being right on top of it. Call it both ways, offsetting. We'll play 1st and 10 from the 20.
So a pretty good first half for Kedrick Connolly. 13 of 16 passing, 91 yards. Has 2 receivers to either side. He will give it away to Jay Gordon on first down. He's out near the first down marker. And Gordon will get 9 on first down.
A big offensive line for Warren Easton coming off the ball and getting great push and movement up front. It was easy for Gordon to pick up those 9 yards on that inside zone play.
Now 87 yards on the night for Gordon. He'll get it again here on 2nd and 1. Bounce off one side, go to the other side. Late flag comes in. It's a gain of about 12 on the play. And we got a couple of injured Eagles, and it looks like Gordon is the guy who's still down. Wait, and that's not good.
No, that is. And I really wish we had our replays, because I would love for us and our fans back home to see what Gordon did on 2 jump cuts in the backfield, because he ran into the back of his own player, and all of a sudden he squirts out the back door for a nice gain and a nice pickup.
It's a face mask against East Ascension, which will add on to the play. And the good news is Gordon's up and moving and heading off on his own power.
That's good to see, because I'll tell you what, he has a little pop to him. You know, he's a junior. He's got another year coming back. He'll get on some people's radars. With moves like that, he does a double jump cut in the backfield right there, and he squirts out the back door and really explodes through a hole that he makes for a nice pickup.
So he gets 12, add on 15 for the face mask, and Easton now at the 44-yard line of East Ascension. Winder takes over in the backfield alongside Connolly. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Luke, the middleman, will take it. Made one man miss, but couldn't keep his feet, and he'll get a couple.
He froze number 3, Cale Babin. He froze him flat, put a move on him, and then all of a sudden just got tripped up by the turf. I think he'd have been off and might have been in the end zone because they had blocks from the 2 other defenders out there.
So 2nd and 8 ball at the 42-yard line. Give it away this time to Winder. And they are really opening some holes here coming out of the second half. We've seen runs of 9, 12, and now 10 yards. And move the sticks again.
East Ascension hasn't stopped that off-tackle, bounce, or stretch play all night. No adjustments that I see to that play. The way it's got to be stopped out of that 3-man front or that 3-4 front right there is that outside linebacker. He's got to tighten down a little bit. When he gets that key from that in man on the line of scrimmage, he's got to step up and build a wall and turn everything back inside.
Low snap, but a nice pickup there by Connolly, and it's our first look of the night at DeCunta Mason. We'll get it to the 20-yard line on the sweep and pick up 12.
Gain of 12.
Great blocking out on the edge for him to get out there and squirt through and pick up a big gain for Warren Easton.
We got to check that. Some of that is coming back. Must
have been a flag by the official down here on the Warren Easton sideline that we didn't see.
It's going to be a gain. It'll be a gain of 8 with a 12-yard penalty for holding. That is now the 4th time tonight that we have seen a downfield holding penalty that lets the play stand, and then you get the 10 yards behind that. So 1st and 12, taking a shot deep, and that is caught for the touchdown, Curtis Elmore. 34 yards from Connolly, who hit him in stride. We haven't seen the Eagles try to go over to the top tonight. They did it there, and he put it on the money for 6.
Elmore runs right past Bouvet. Right past. Bouvet's feet were stuck in mud. He had about a 3-stride length on Bouvet, and the ball was placed perfectly out there by Connolly. Great throw and catch right there. Great. People question the strength of Connolly's arm. I don't think there's any question. He can throw it, and he's got a nice delivery. Nice throw.
6 plays, 80 yards, 1:59 off the clock. And we've got an injured player at the 25-yard line that they're taking a look at right now. It's like one of the offensive linemen. This was a pretty beat-up Easton team coming out of that Carr game, Wade. And
well, that's so physical.
And obviously, it was a physical football game. Not to mention, you had a short recovery week, and that is the center, Malachi Prashado, who's coming off holding with. Looks like his right thigh.
Well, that's the problem with that short week like that and those prep days. You also miss prep days on treatment. So if you've got little bumps and bruises and little twists and sprains, you're not getting those extra days of treatment with your training staff that you would normally be getting. So some of those things could be playing out here tonight also.
We'll swing the gate around. And the point after try is right through, and with 10:01 remaining in the third quarter, your new score, Warren Easton 14, East Ascension nothing. Chance to remind you that Crescent City Sports Prep Football brought to you by Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs, and a proud recipient of the Top Insurance Workplace Award for 2019 from Insurance Business America. Call Riverlands at 1-800-336-4579 or go to rivins.com. Beautiful new office out in St. Rose in that business park right out there on Airline Highway to handle all of your insurance needs, plus satellite offices throughout the region as well. Riverlands Insurance.
Getting back to that scoring play, all right? If there's an old saying, if I'm even, I'm leaving. Okay, by a receiver and by offensive coordinators. And at that time, Elmore was on top of Bouvet so fast that he knew that he was blowing by him. It was just a matter of whether the pass was going to be there or not. And Connolly airs it out with great arm strength, puts it right on the money. If I'm even, I'm leaving you. And he left Bouvet.
At number 14, Harris. And 1. Good
So
one.
this is Castillo to handle the kickoff duties. It's Vasquez handling the placement chores. A little bit shorter. This will be taken in at about the 25-yard line by one of the up men. That is Joshua Burfict, the linebacker.
Good kick, fielded by number 25.
Pretty good running the football for a linebacker like there. Like he knew what to do with the football in his hands. Got it out to the 36-yard line.
He wasn't missing that opportunity.
Their first and 10.
He gets the balls in his hands. He's running that thing. Well, if the thing would have been high and skied, he would have had to put that hand up and fair caught it. But it was kind of a low line drive, so he had the opportunity to catch the ball and pick up some valuable yardage for the Spartan offense.
So Troy Dunn at quarterback. Single setback. Two wide receivers to this side. That was Washington in the backfield right there. Dunn kept it, and it's like he might have lost a yard there. They're going to put it down at the 35-yard line. It's 2nd and 1.
2 on the play.
I wonder if something is going on with Samuel, because that's Washington starting the
second half.
The second half in the backfield here.
I mean, we've seen Samuel in there in the second back there in the second quarter, but like you said, that was their workhorse last week. I'm surprised I'm not seeing him in there right now.
And look, again,
you don't know.
The hazards of a short week, no question about it.
He could have a nipped up ankle or a nipped up thigh. You have no idea what could be banged up.
Dunn throwing far side, incomplete. That was intended for Neville Chopin.
Neville Chopin looked like he had his hands on that and just dropped it.
Get the third down.
Again, bringing up 3rd and long. I mean, how many times have we seen this tonight with the EA offense? Behind the sticks, 3rd and long. It's hard to get going. It's hard to get momentum.
Line to make is the 46.
Hey, credit a very good Warren East defense.
Yeah,
these guys are getting after it. They run well. They're very sound versus run and pass.
Yeah, look, they gave up 45 to Carr. But they're showing much better here this evening. At that time, they just closed in. Dunn had nowhere to go with the football, and he's brought down right about the line of scrimmage. A host of Eagles there.
That was led by Sidney Humble. Big Sidney Humble right there. Yeah. Catches up to him from behind and almost gets the strip sack. They have just reached out. Dunn pulls that ball away just at the last moment, or that ball would have been out on the ground and possibly a turnover. Another 3 and out by the EA offense. Just can't get anything going.
Losing 2 yards in the process. So on 4th and 12, line drive kick is taken in. Brought back up the middle, and a nice return by Luke, still on his feet across midfield and out to the 44-yard line. And that's great field position once again for Warren Easton with 8:16 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
This guy's talented. He can return punts, he can return kicks. He can run with the football in the jet sweeps. And he can catch the ball, run good routes. I think he's going to have a future on Saturdays in front of him.
Luke is a little guy, 5'8", 165 pounds, but he is showing you some explosiveness. And there's a place. There's a place for small guys, especially on the edge.
He reminds me of the running back from Hahnville that plays at Kansas.
Puka Williams.
Puka Williams, exactly.
And with a lot of room, that's Jay Gordon. And out past the 25 to the 24-yard line. That is a gain of 19 on the play. And he's over 100 yards for the night, Wade. Give him 118 on 14 carries.
Nice burst, nice pop on the inside give.
Coming this way on 1st down, there's Luke. We're just talking about him, and nicely defended out there. That is Kendrick Broussard, the junior DB. Brought him down for a loss on the play of 4.
Kendrick Broussard did a nice job getting off the block, coming up and making an ankle tackle. Look, that's a big play right there. It actually kind of puts them behind the sticks for the first time in a while.
So on 2nd down and 14, coming near side, low and incomplete, intended for Johns.
You know, I can see that's where Connolly needs a lot of work, right there. On those throws where he's having to put them on a spot or in a place. That will come with working with throwing technique, his throwing motion, and his mechanics.
On 3rd down, taking a shot downfield, and that is incomplete. Very nearly intercepted by Broussard. It was thrown in the direction of Johns.
Very well covered by Broussard on the vertical right there. Step for step, right there. Nice in-phase looking lean by the defensive back. Only one place the ball could have been thrown was where it was, and it was just too far over the head. Great coverage right there by Broussard.
How about this? On 4th and 14 at the 28, they're going to take a shot at a field goal here. 45 yards by Castillo. Ron Stevens, the senior cornerback, is the holder. It's a down. Kick is on the way. He's got plenty of leg on this, and it is no good wide left. Oh, but I tell you what, that was 2/3 of the way up the upright.
Right. He had that plus. He had distance plus. It was a great kick, just wide left.
Now that was actually Castillo that tried that and not Vasquez. Right? Castillo's the kickoff guy. Clearly has the better leg. Gave that a run right there.
Okay, so here's my question, all right? Warren Easton built themselves a practice field right next to their school there on Canal Street, correct?
Okay.
There are no goalposts there. So when we had no goalposts one year, we were practicing out at UNO at Brother Martin when we were building the field there at the school, the facility.
Right.
I would have to get my guys out there, hold hands together to emulate a goalpost to be able to have our kickers kick on.
I don't know if you just sent your kickers in a car somewhere where there was a goalpost and let them kick on their own.
Well, they could possibly go down the street to the playground that's about 4 blocks down from Warren Easton at Easton Playground, one of the better playgrounds in the city, one of the great Nord playgrounds in the city, like Joe Brown right here out in New Orleans East. I might send him down there to kick. That is a possibility.
There's Samuel back in the game there, gain of 2. So,
but I bring that up because you talk about coaches that learn how to adjust on the run. What do you do when you don't have a goalpost? What do your kickers practice? You adjust.
This is a different quarterback in the game here. Hit as he threw an incomplete. Wheat taking over a quarterback, and it looks like we got an injured car player.
That was kind of doomed from the start. It was off boot action. Wheat gets out on to his flank on his right-hand side, and he was just being hunted down by everything in purple right there, and looked like his arm was hit as he was getting rid of the ball.
Yeah, you could hear a slap,
right?
And I'm not sure who took the worst of the slap there.
Could have been arm to arm, and we might have a shoulder injury down here by this Easton player that was giving chase.
You hope he's okay. I'm not sure which one of the linemen that is out there. Can't pick up a number. They don't have they call those numbers on the shoulders TV numbers. Did you know that? That's what they were. That's why they put those numbers on the sleeves.
Oh, so that's why
for television. For television.
That's why I did it. Okay. TV numbers.
And
you TV guys, man. I'll tell you what. You get jerseys set up for you, everything.
I believe that's 92. That's Rennell Ruth. Or is that name?
That's number 92.
92.
Rennell
Ruth,
Ruth.
Returning starter, 3 tackles last week against Carr. He's a junior. Started as a sophomore on a team that got to the Dome a year ago. That was a great run by Easton. You know, they had some hard luck early in the year, had some tough losses.
We saw them in a real good game at the beginning of the season
against De La Salle. They beat De La Salle. Ended up there was an eligible player that played in the game. They had to forfeit it. So a slow start. They lost to this East Ascension team by a point. Lost to Carr early in the regular season, but then got it going. Won 8 in a row. But they went into the playoffs as a number 20 seed and proceeded to beat 3 top 5 seeds to get to the Dome, including the number 1 seed Lakeshore. That is batted down at the line, incomplete, I believe. That might have been Armand Ellis, the defensive end, who got a paw on that one.
This was Armand Ellis, number 90, I believe.
That was 8. That was 8 that got it, yeah.
Oh, number 8, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Armand Ellis getting his big paw up, knocking that down.
And Humbles had a great game as well. He's done a terrific job out there. But it looked like Ellis got the break up there. They will wave off the penalty. Perhaps there was a man downfield, but the pass never crossed the line of scrimmage because it was batted down, so that would eliminate the penalty there. So another 3 and out for this Warren Easton defense, who has been outstanding tonight. Wheat stays on, gets it over the head, and now letting it roll, and it's going to roll inside the 20 and continue to roll to about the 17-yard line. A great punt by Wheat with the roll, 61 yards, and Easton will start with its worst field position in quite a while.
That distance really fooled Luke right there. Lined up for about a 40-yard punt, and it just sails right over his head.
It was a line drive kick.
Sailed right over his head.
Yeah. Had he been able to field it, get back and field it, he would have had some room to run because it was a line drive kick.
No, he was doomed from the beginning because he just didn't have enough yardage between him and where the ball sailed to. So he would have had to made an over-the-shoulder catch, which is a bad rule. If you're going to have to make an over-the-shoulder catch, you just want to leave the ball alone.
And that's exactly what he did. He got away from it.
Get away from it, Peter, that ball, get away from it.
So from the 17, they're going to run the RPO there, fake the handoff, and get it to Luke on the edge, and it might have gotten about a yard.
Again, out there, slowing that thing down for East Ascension was number 29, Kendrick Broussard. He gets out there and makes a nice play on. They had the numbers on the tunnel screen. He gets off the block and makes a nice tackle to slow that thing down.
Got a hydration timeout with 5:59 remaining in the third quarter.
It's funny, last week in our game up in Hammond, it was a beautiful fall night. We were having hydration breaks for week 1 in October on a cool night, and we were asking, do we really need hydration breaks?
Tonight we do.
Tonight we do, because that humidity in South Louisiana is streaming back in because of all this disturbance out in the Gulf. And the humidity factor has gone up twofold, and these guys tonight have been training, believe it or not, in the past couple of weeks in some nice fall weather, and then all of a sudden this humidity comes in, and it's very easy to get dehydrated. So usually in October you don't have dehydration, your hydration breaks, but of course sensibility rules here, you've got to put them back in.
By the way, halftime score in Baton Rouge, that's Carr 20 and Catholic 10. So it was 20-0 at one point. Catholic has scored the final 10 of the half. They will give this one away, try to get the edge with that third back, Mason, and he is right near the sticks. Looks like he got the first down.
Game 9, first down, Eagles.
That's your number 3 guy, Mason. I've been impressed with what I've seen there so far. 1st and 10 ball at the 27-yard line. Go one more time to Mason. Try to get the left edge, and he gets about 4. They're going to say his knee went down at the 31-yard line, a gain of 4 in the play.
Not a big guy, but he's got a lot of pop now. He'll get out there and he'll hit a crease and he'll go. He's got a nice set of wheels. 3 nice running backs for the Easton Eagles.
He's just 5'7", 170 pounds. Tries to go up inside with it this time. And one thing about those little guys is he gets 4 on that one. You can get lost in there with those big offensive linemen sometimes.
Well, no doubt about it. Ask Alvin Camaro. I mean, he's not a big guy, and he gets inside, and he's strong, he's got great balance, great vision, and all of a sudden he's off and gone. Give him a crease.
One more time, and run to run. 50, and track just tripped up, and guess what? Kendrick Broussard, once again, who has made a ton of plays here in the third quarter, and that might have been a touchdown-saving stop right there. And we got an injured East Ascension player back at the 46-yard line. And it's Riante Jones, the junior linebacker. But a gain of 19, and that was, if not for that shoestring tackle by Broussard, Wade, Mason might have been off to the races.
I am impressed with the stable of running backs that Warren Easton has. That cat hit it inside, pounded the rock, and he just scored it through, and all of a sudden you look up, he's running around in your secondary.
Yeah. Let's see. So tonight, Gordon has 118 yards rushing on 14 carries. Winder has 36 on 10 carries, and now Mason, who's just come in here in the third quarter, has 44 yards on 5 carries.
Coming in with fresh legs.
After the first charge timeout for the Spartans this half.
East Ascension called the timeout here with 4:53 remaining in the third quarter. Stay tuned to Crescent City Sports, of course. Get all the scores on the All-State Sugar Bowl scoreboard tonight, tomorrow, through the rest of the weekend. There are going to be games on Sunday as well, by the way. There's a lot of, down in the Bayou particularly, they moved a lot of games to Sunday afternoon this week.
I mean, everybody's doing what they have to do to avoid this storm thing, and they still want to play their game.
Once again, it's Mason, and for the first time tonight,
Mason on the carry again.
East Ascension stops it. Loss of 1.
That was number 84, Thomas Lee Jr. Big defensive lineman right there. Did a nice job getting penetration and banging up Mason in the backfield.
Checking, it's a loss of 2. 2nd and 12, put it at the 48-yard line. Connolly, flag is down, pass is incomplete, likely to be a hold, and it is. It looks like they got the center, Brashado.
I think he knew it too.
Yeah.
He kind of looked at him and shook his head.
Ashton Milton is a big fella back in there, the senior, and
you gotta love those offensive linemen. When they're like the most honest guys out there. When they hold, they're gonna say, "Yeah, you got me." You know.
So now, because again, it is a spot foul in high school. Remember, unlike whether it's in front of the line or behind the line of scrimmage, that's a 12-yard penalty. It's now 2nd down and 24 from the 40-yard line.
Right, a 10-yard penalty ends up being a 12-yard penalty. Enforcement.
Connolly with the boot action, bounced one in there, and that was intended for Luke.
First boot action we've seen tonight out of Connolly. He's going to have to work on his mechanics a little bit and get his shoulders around going towards the line of scrimmage when he puts the ball. All of those things take place in the offseason, and we know this past offseason, a lot of things just could not take place. Quarterbacks couldn't throw with receivers. Quarterbacks in some instances had nobody to throw to get out to be able to work on their fundamentals. At least they wanted to do.
Right. At least you weren't getting coached if you did. You could go do stuff on your own. That's one of the things I was talking to Kyle Wickersham, the Rummel quarterback, about after the game last week. He and his receivers would go to the playground and throw.
Right, but you still need that coach in there on a young, raw, talented kid like Connolly.
Especially Connolly's a sophomore. Now they'll go to Luke on his 3rd and 24. Still on his feet, still moving. He is going to be brought down. It's like just short of the first down. Let's see. They've got him about a yard short, I believe, over here. Let's see where they spot it. I think they're going to call it 4th and 1.
Oh, I like this guy. He's hard-nosed. He's out there flexing right now. He's flexing like I just ran somebody over, which you did. And we got a jump by EA. Again, a hard count. Tack 5 more yards onto the play.
That was Jarrell Boykins from his right defensive end spot.
Allred Luke is going to get signed by somebody. He can play. And he's not big in stature, but he's got nice hands. He runs well. He's physical.
And a timeout, East Ascension. Second one they've called here in this half with 3:30 remaining.
The past two games, Lenny, he could put together a highlight film. They'll come knocking around the door. Everybody comes into the city when they're recruiting. They stop by Warren Easton because of the type of athletes that they have there. And they always have their grades, and they do a great job coaching their athletes there. And he'll get picked up by someone.
He's got 10 catches tonight for 59 yards. That was 23. That was his longest play of the night. He popped some big plays last week against Carr.
Right. you know, Easton has a nice problem. They've got some nice athletes. How do you get the ball in all their hands? You know, it's like, I'm going to go with who's hot tonight. You know, we got to feed who's hot.
Well, if you got a defense that continues to get 3 and out, you keep moving the sticks to the point where you're going to run. I've got him at 59 plays thus far from scrimmage with 3:30 left in the third quarter. If you're running 59, if this is your 60th offensive play with 3:30 left in the third quarter, you can get the ball in people's hands. The ball is out, and that is fallen back on by the quarterback, Connolly. That mesh point wasn't very meshy right there, and it goes for a loss of 4.
Yeah, a little fundamental issue right there with the mesh point. It wasn't seated real well in the midsection of Mason.
So 2nd down and 14. Eagles have to operate behind the chains here at the 36-yard line. Give it away to Mason, who will lose a yard, and now it's going to be 2nd down and 15.
That was Jarrell Boykins on that tackle for EA. We've got another EA player down. This is where we're running into the attrition part of things, playing on a short week.
Yeah, and I'm sure as humid as it is tonight, again, you played that in that cooler weather, and you've had a little bit more pleasant temperatures to practice in, that maybe you're seeing some cramping, maybe you're seeing some, you know, just
hydration
other
problems.
Yeah, exactly, no doubt.
Well, that's Boykins that is down. He was the one that just made the tackle for the loss in the backfield. Let's hope he gets up and can shake it off. You know, I'm also impressed with the conditioning of Warren Easton. You know, those guys tonight don't seem to be sucking eggs that much. You know, we haven't seen many of those issues that we're seeing out of EA with the cramps, the injuries, and a few of the conditioning issues that you're having on a short week.
About St. Thomas More, talking about them earlier. They lead Walker at halftime, 47-7. South Terrebonne leading Patterson at halftime, 45-13. Short week not bothering those teams. Boykins gets a nice hand as he heads off to the sideline. Jennings and Cecilia, good one going on down in
Southwest
Louisiana. 25-21 Jennings.
Played in both of those. I've coached in both of those stadiums. Cecilia was one of the roughest places I had to coach as a head coach. What a fan base they have in Cecilia.
Connolly, a little half roll, taking a shot at the end zone, got a man wide open, and in and out of the hands of Elwha, and
there's no flag on that. I am very surprised, because we had, what you can't do in high school is you must have your head get around to look for the ball as a defensive back. If you put your hands up and you face the receiver on the ball, do not get your head around. You should get called every time for interference, because basically you're face guarding. Another long throw right there by Conley, showing off his arm. He's done that a couple times tonight. The distance part of his arm.
Punt by Jerea Johnson, and a fair catch is called for by Cale Babin. So Johnson's not only the linebacker calling all the signals, but he also handles the punting duties.
There you go.
EA will take over at the 11-yard line. Let's see, they're going to move this up. Check that, I think. No. Let's see, they put it down at the 14-yard line.
Lenny, getting back to my story real quick about Cecilia playing there one night against the great Jimmy Wagaspack. Jimmy Wagaspack was the head coach of Cecilia, and he told me that week coming in, he said, now listen to me. Tell your boys to make sure they always wear their helmets during the game. I said, well, on the sidelines they can't take them off? He said, I wouldn't advise it. I found out real quick why.
Here's the give on the jet sweep. Washington on the carry, and he lost yardage.
The number of projectiles that were coming out of the stands that night onto our sidelines was amazing.
And now we got another injured East Ascension player. Might have been the ball carrier, Washington.
Let's see if I can get a number for you. It looks like it's all covered up. Where are those TV numbers?
Well, the pace of this game was pretty brisk until some of these injuries started happening here in the second half.
I think it is number 2, as you call it, Lenny.
It's Washington.
Let's hope he gets up.
Took a pretty good lick there at the 10-yard line, a loss of 4 in the play. So the 2 Easton running backs tonight, Wade, have combined for 9 carries for a total of 1 yard.
Well, they have not gotten the running game going. They had a little success with it very early in the first quarter. And they just can't and have not gotten it back on track.
And they had 20 yards at halftime. They now have 10.
Well, that's a credit to those guys in purple right there. Those guys are really good on defense. And going forward, Warren Easton, you look at they might have the Landry game, they might not, right, in another week because of possibly COVID. Then they line up against a really good Holy Cross team. Then they go into Carver, McMain, Lusher, and Kennedy. With that defense and the way that defense is playing, if they stay away from injuries, things look real favorable for them as they move through the rest of their schedule.
Right. Clearly the toughest test remaining is a much improved Holy Cross team.
Correct.
Be interested to see, of course, we get a chance to see them in the Great American Rivalry next Saturday against Jesuit, a game you can see here on CrescentCitySports.com as well as on Cox Sports Television. We will have one other game for sure next week. Stay tuned. We'll be making an announcement on next week's schedule. And some good ones coming up down the way. We'll get a look at De La Salle. We'll likely get a look at St. Charles Catholic. Get a look at Newman and Arch Manning down the road.
Well, everybody wants to see Arch Manning. ESPN is coming in and doing a live game this week.
Next Thursday night. Newman and Booker T.
My goodness gracious.
From Lupin Field.
Another Manning on live television.
Currently the number 1 rated prospect in Louisiana in the class of 2023 and might be the number 1 rated quarterback in the country in that class. He's top 5 in the nation. Of course, a long way to go.
2023.
Till you get to them.
It's amazing how people can forecast down the road 3 and 4 years and start putting stars on people.
Of course.
Tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything about young Manning's capabilities. We saw him last year. He is every bit a part of being an outstanding quarterback, and it will only get better.
Wheat rolls out, throws incomplete. That was intended for Jordan Goodlow, the senior wide receiver.
I was just being facetious about the idea of where forecasters rate young men that are high school kids that they haven't grown into their body yet. They're giving them stars and predictability forecast when they're freshmen and sophomores.
No doubt.
But the college game has driven that, Lenny. I mean, think about this. Colleges are now offering full ride scholarships to freshmen and sophomores in high school.
8th graders.
Eighth graders. Thank you. So I mean, if that's the way it's going to be played by the colleges, then of course, then people are going to go out and do what they need to do to put stars on people.
Wheat taking a shot downfield, and that is going to be intercepted. It was thrown in the direction of Mack, but the other number 10 came away with it, I believe.
It was Wallace Foster.
Yeah, Wallace Foster, the quarterback who had an interception a week ago, the freshman, so he's got 2 interceptions in 2 weeks.
Trying to air the ball down the field, take a shot right there on the vertical. The ball's underthrown. It's hung in the air. Wallace Foster makes a great play on it, and a jump ball. He gets it at its highest point, comes down with the jump ball. And Randy Moss would say, "You got mossed." Great play right there by Foster.
Give it away on first down. That is Gordon on the carry. Adding on to his big night, giving 2 at 2nd down and 8. Gordon with 120 yards rushing on 15 carries. And a touchdown.
Like I said, they're stacked at that running back position. They got 3 solid kids right there that they can rotate in and out and run their offense with.
There's your pass flags before this can get going.
We had illegal procedure, I
We
believe.
got a false start on the Eagles. 5-yard penalty. The remaining second down.
So behind the sticks again, second down 13 from the 37-yard line for Easton, leading this one 14-0. Time winding down here in the third quarter. Connolly, play action, looking, moving the pocket, will let it fly, and that ball is caught for a touchdown. Luke hit that ball on his right hip as he was falling down, and it's a 37-yard touchdown catch, and it's 20-0.
Defending out there, again, trying to make a play was Broussard, and he was right there step for step in a good position with Luke. It ends up being a jump ball in the end zone, but did you see the ball skills of Luke? He catches it and pins it to his hip, as you said. Had ball skills to be able to come down with that ball in that jump ball situation. Another 6 points tacked on the board for Warren Easton. Great ball skills. Wow. He went up, took the ball away with one hand, pins it against his body, and comes down with the reception.
Easton will call a timeout before the extra
That's their
point
first
try.
timeout charge to the back.
Not sure if they were missing a player.
I think there was a personnel issue.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
one of
field
those
with
things.
10
Yeah,
people.
that's one of those things right there, though, that maybe it's best to take the delay of game penalty and just kick it from 25.
Well, especially after we saw the leg of the kicker.
Well, that was the other
Vasquez.
kicker. Yeah, that was the other kicker.
That was the other kicker? Well,
right.
then I'd have put that kicker in, taken the delay of game
Right.
penalty, and put him in to kick the.
Right, I believe so. Yeah.
The 30. What would have been 30?
We tried a 47-yard
Right.
field goal, and I believe was it 47?
Would have been 35 yards.
Well, it's been 20. With 25 with the 5-yard penalty. It was a 40. It was a 45-yard field goal attempt that had plenty of leg, but was just wide left.
Correct.
Yeah, this is Vasquez who's on to try the point after. And the kick is partially, it might have been partially blocked, and how about that? It hit the crossbar and bounced back no good.
Bounced it off the cross.
I think there might have been a finger on that ball. Somebody inside got their hand up, got a little tip on it, just took a little steam off of it.
So a 20-0 game with 55.6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So we didn't get a chance to answer that trivia question we gave you at the start of the quarter.
Well,
We were talking about Tyron Johnson scoring a touchdown. The former Easton wide receiver played on that that 2014 team that got to the state championship game.
Did anybody text in with an answer?
No, I did not get a text in with an answer. Of course, I didn't put my phone number on the air, so there's that. All right, but
I thought maybe one of your friends that listened, they would have came in with that.
but the answer is the last Easton player to score an NFL touchdown, Eddie Price.
Eddie Price.
Of course, the former Tulane great, Tulane Hall of Famer, Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer.
A great New Orleans prep name.
Yep, exactly. And then the only other Easton player to score an NFL touchdown is the Pro Football Hall of Famer, Steve Van Buren.
And you got me on that one. I didn't know that Steve Van Buren was from New Orleans. And knowing my history pretty well about the city, I can't believe I didn't know that.
So from the 5, trying to get to the outside, that was Walter Samuel on the return that time, back out to the 25-yard line.
Steve Van Buren, the great Eagle.
Played 8 years in the NFL. Interesting, he was the first NFL running back to rush for 10 touchdowns in a season. Back in the 40s, of course, they only played 12 games back then. Now they play 16, but he was the first NFL running back to have 10 rushing touchdowns in a season. Wow. Led the NFL in rushing 4 times, made All-Pro 6 times.
And a Warren Easton grad.
And a Warren Easton grad. Warren Easton to LSU to the Eagles. And getting tripped up in the backfield is Samuel. Tried to keep going, saying his knee didn't hit the ground, but it apparently did just just before the line of scrimmage. You'll see exactly where they spot the football here.
He just doesn't look as crisp as he did hitting the hole as he did in the first 1 or 2 series we saw him back in the first quarter. It seems like he's got a little hiccup in his giddy up there. He's their war horse. He's their war daddy. He's the guy that's got to hit and pound it inside in the tackles and be able to pound it for them. And he just doesn't look like he has that giddy up with him right now.
That's back at quarterback. That is done. Tackle broken and still on his feet. Knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line. That was Chopin. Getting out to the 45-yard line.
Right.
And that's going to be the final play of the third quarter.
One of the positive pickups for the night.
First down, Spartan. That'll bring us to the end of the third
That's what Warren Easton needed to get going. They moved the sticks. Puts them into or right at, I can't tell if it's at the 49-yard line.
They put it at the 45-yard line, I believe, on the 45? Final play, or maybe the 44 on the final play of the third quarter. We got 12 minutes to go in this one. It has been all Easton in this matchup of ranked teams. Your score, Warren Easton 20, East Ascension nothing. Back with the fourth quarter right after this. You're watching high school football from Crescent City Sports. Away with East Ascension playing a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. We'll do a little inside handoff and end around with Xavier Jupiter, the sophomore wide receiver. Lost a yard on the play. I think what it comes down to is this, Wade, is the Easton front seven is getting tremendous penetration up front. They are dominating this football game.
Right. We've called this name a couple of times. I anticipated that play for a loss was Sidney Humble. This guy is a good-looking defensive lineman. He's physical. He can run. He chased that play down from behind right there.
2nd down, 11, ball at the 44-yard line. Dunn throws in and out of the hands of Mack, incomplete.
Another 3rd and long for the East Ascension Spartans here.
3rd down, 10 yards to go for the Spartans.
But you're right, that front seven for Warren Easton is dominating. These guys are big, they're strong, they can run. When you can control the line of scrimmage as they've done that tonight, you're going to win a lot of football games. Pitching a shutout going into the 4th quarter.
Pressure coming, pass is caught. That's Samuel out of the backfield and from the run. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. East Ascension. 56 yards on the little screen pass from Dunn to Samuel. And East Ascension finally breaks through.
Samuel is the guy. That's the guy they've got to somehow get the ball into his hands and get him going. However you do it, whether you hand the ball off to him and he's running downhill, or you throw the little screen pass like we just saw, get some excellent blocking out on the perimeter, and he flies down the boundary. He's got great wheels. Finally, East Ascension with Samuel get on the board. 6 points for the Spartans.
Going to make it 7 right here. Point after try is low and no good.
Started with a snap. The snap was real bad. Holder did everything he could to get it up on the tee, and then the kick just kind of squirmed over the top of the line of scrimmage and didn't even get to the goalpost. So I don't know if it was partially blocked or was the ball coming off the tee and kind of squirming on the ground as the holder was setting it on the tee. Any way you look at it, the whole exchange was poor.
Kern, who missed the extra point, is out to kick off here, and in a a 2-score game with 11 minutes left, as good as Warren Easton has been trying to move the football here, just grinding it out. Is it too soon to think about an onside kick right here, or do you kick it deep and play defense?
Kick it deep, play defense. I mean, it's you don't want to give these guys the ball at the right about the 50-yard line or the minus 45, something like that. You just don't want to do that.
Well, clearly, Easton is preparing for it because they've got 10 guys between the 40 and the 50-yard line, and one player back at about the 25. The other thing you could do with this is if you've got a good kicker, you could try to pooch it right here.
Yeah, the sky kick is a possibility.
The sky kick,
all of that is in play. I don't like the onside kick. I think you go ahead and play defense.
He will directionally kick this one towards about the 22-yard line and brought down at about the 31-yard line. That was Fred Robertson who was back there.
10 at their own 32-yard line.
Well, EA's got a little momentum. They need a 3-and-out right here. They need to stop, get that ball back, and get the ball back into the hands of Sanders again. I mean, they've got a little energy, so let's see what they can do defensively.
Give it away on 1st and 10. Not much doing up the middle that time, so maybe that play just gave a lift to this entire white-clad team out there.
There was number 99, Sean Washington, on that play right there. We hadn't called his name tonight, but he made a nice stop in the backfield number 99 for East Ascension.
That was Ashton Milton.
Big
guy, 315 pounds. Takes up a lot of space out there.
A lot of space. Had the wrong 99 on the wrong team.
Another good defensive stop. Is that far side bench getting a little more involved in it right here, and a loss of 2 on the play, and it's 3rd and 11.
Got a little life in the white, the life of the gold and the blue right there. So here we go. It puts them into a situation where they're behind the sticks at 3rd down. Need to cover number 1 right here. Make sure he's covered.
He is in the slot, bottom of your screen. The back is now Gordon. Rolling this way, Connolly. He will put it down and slide at the 35, making the 34-yard line. Gain of 3.
Started with the coverage right there, Lenny. Conley had no place to go with that ball. Smart quarterback, took off and ran, picked up what he could, so he gives his punting team a chance to punt the ball inside the sticks here. But a great stop, great 3-and-out right there by East Ascension. Got a little momentum.
Again, it's Johnson who handles the punting duties. Not a very good kick. Line drive. This will be taken on a hop and picked up on the run.
Picked up by number 3.
That was Babin on the return there to about the 38-yard line.
That was kind of a dangerous decision right there. We got a flag, I think, on that play about midfield right there, about the 47-yard line.
See what the indication is against East Ascension, so that's going to back them up a little bit further. They had pretty good field position. Now you're backed up after the holding call.
So that's going to be from where the end of the run was, 10 yards, because it was post-possession.
Put it down at the 28-yard line.
Take over.
2-score game. Darnell Lee's bunch has to pick up right where they left off a moment ago. After that 5-play, 75-yard drive, finally popped the big play on the 56-yard pass. Play action on 1st down. Caught, still on his feet, and out past the 1st down marker. That was Jupiter on the catch.
Everything was naked bootleg right there. Even they pulled the guard of the tackle opposite the flow of the ball and hit the nice little out route on the corner to move the sticks. That's what you call naked, bringing the ball opposite the flow of the offensive line.
And flags before this one could get underway.
Somebody forgot the snap count. Might have been the center. You know, your first indication is when everybody else is going and you're standing there over the ball holding it.
False start on the clock. Ball from 5.
So it's 1st and 15 now at the 37.
How does that commercial go? You need a Snickers? But that puts them behind the sticks, and that's not the thing they want to be in, obviously, with the momentum that they've achieved.
Little screen pass set up again for Samuel. Breaks one tackle, falls forward. Gets the penalty yardage back, plus a couple more. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
I like the way they're using them now. This needed to come out somewhere back in the middle of the second quarter.
That's one thing, especially if they're generating a rush.
Correct.
That's a great way to try to neutralize it.
Let's eat it up. Nice adjustment by the EA offensive staff. Let's eat up that rush some. Especially on a humid night. Get those big guys huffing and puffing a little bit.
Low snap, recovered and incomplete. That was in the direction of Chopin. Jupiter was also on that side of the field. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Well, it started with a bad snap. It was at the feet of Dunn. Had to pick it up and kind of scramble out of there a little bit. And I don't think he was in tune with what was going on with his 3 receivers.
3rd down, 7 yards to go for Spartan.
So East Ascension has 78 yards passing here. 78 total yards, in fact, here in the 77 yards, I should say, in the 4th quarter. That's more than what they had in the first 3 quarters.
They're not going to get this play off. Ooh, barely.
Pressure coming from the edge. Escaping is done. Letting it fly, and it's caught. 1st down. Jupiter on the catch.
3 receivers in the same area. The ball gets dropped in with Jupiter coming up with the ball right there. All the routes kind of converged on a corner route right there, what they sometimes call a 7 route, post corner route. Jupiter was the one that was in the corner route. The ball was placed nicely. He's the one that comes up with the big play, and they move the sticks again on 3rd down.
Big 3rd down conversion, and now they're at the 33-yard line of Easton. Got to start paying attention to the clock here. 7:21. Stopped at the moment after the play went out of bounds. Samuel the back. He's out in the route, so 5 receivers out there. Incomplete in the direction of Mack, and that was good defense right there by Cary Grant, the junior outside linebacker.
Cary Grant. Great job right there on the coverage.
Number 14, Cary Grant, the Eagles. 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
There's so many jokes we could have come in here with on that. I
want to just kind of say, I wonder if he saw the movie North by Northwest, Joe Day. Could have come in with a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But a great young man. He plays that outside linebacker position for Warren Easton. He made a great play right there that time on the receiver breaking up that pass.
You look at this Easton defense among the guys playing. There's only 3 seniors really in the rotations. That snap is bobbled, and Max is going to have to fall on it.
How many times has that happened?
Dunn is going to have to fall on it back. And we got a flag. Let's see what that's about.
Lenny, how many times have we had that issue tonight on a bad snap?
A couple of them.
Right.
Flag was on the Easton side of the field.
Okay, what's the conversation here about? Was the flag thrown by the umpire?
I did not see. I just saw it on the ground. The official was standing over it at the 28-yard line. 3 other officials are talking about it right now. There were 4. Still no call. Now someone will come over and explain it to Jerry Phillips. Flag is picked up, so apparently it's going to be.
It was thrown by the umpire. So in that area, you're either having some sort of hold face mask or a personal foul.
But it was 5 yards. It was thrown 5 yards downfield on a play that went 13 yards backwards. That's the
right. So that's your indication where there was some sort of maybe misconduct that was going on.
We're getting a signal now. Yeah, we're getting a signal now. Illegal motion is declined. Chop block is accepted. So are they? Oh, they're just moving it back 2 more yards. It goes from the line of scrimmage.
Right, goes from the line of scrimmage. So what they did, 2 plays, both fouls called by the umpire. The chop block was the one that he saw that is the biggest of the 2 penalties. That was obviously accepted by Warren Easton. Somebody was in contact as someone took somebody's knees out. You can't have that.
Now, here's the thing. You were going to have 3rd and 23. You're taking the penalty for 2nd and 25.
Right.
I'm not sure I wouldn't turn down the penalty right here and take the down.
Correct.
To gain 2 yards.
Agreed. I'm right there with you, my friend. I would have declined that penalty. Declined both and taken the 3rd down, gone with 3rd down at the distance, which would have been a exorbitant amount of yardage.
So now it's 2nd and 25. Scoreboard says 3rd and 25. The down marker across the way says 3rd. This is done. Oh, looking to find Samuel, but it was a little bit behind him there. Samuel had half a step on the defender, and it's 3rd down and 25. So now you got to it anyway.
Right, you got to it anyway. Or you could have been punting right here.
Sure. Two-score game with 6.5 minutes left. You in 4-down territory now, or do you have to try?
I think right now you're running out of time. You're not going to get many more possessions left. You're going to have to go for it on 4th down. So you are in 4-down territory.
That in mind, you try to get some of this, not necessarily all.
Correct. You got to get half of it back, so you get a shot on 4th down.
Dunn will take a shot down the field, but overshot his receiver, Jaquel Mack, and it's 4th down.
I don't think you have much choice here. You might only get the ball back one more time.
Brings up 4th down for the start.
And it looks like the offense is going to stay on the field. The line to make is the 23-yard line.
Never had this this distance on my call sheet.
Not many 4th and 25s out there yet.
Or 3rd and 25s.
Easton's going to put 2 safeties back about 23 yards on this play. They got to actually going to put them back right about the 1st down line. You got 3 receivers to the top of your screen, almost like a Hail Mary situation here. Dunn, throw it short. Is this a hook and lateral possibly? No, here comes a flag. Because that's going to be short of the 1st down. The pass was completed to Brennan Thompson, the freshman wide receiver. He's down at the 41-yard line. There was a flag in the backfield. Let's see what that was.
I think we've got a roughing the passer penalty, a personal foul on Warren Easton. I didn't see the roughing. Obviously, everybody in purple on the boundary is upset about it. This should be, if I'm not mistaken.
This is not an automatic 1st down, correct?
It'll be 15 yards marked.
Then it's not, and it's not going to be enough. So there, it's going to be 4th. The play ended at the 41. Standing at the 41. 15 yards, you put it at the 26. So it's going to be 4th and 3.
Against Warren Easton.
Now he's saying 1st down.
Tacked onto the end of the play. They called it a personal foul, so it was automatic 1st down.
Because it's a personal foul.
Because it was a personal foul, that is correct. I didn't know if they called it a personal foul or not, and yes, they did. He signaled
15 yards from the end of the play.
personal foul, so
Result
you're
is
going to get an automatic
down
first down.
at the Eagle 26-yard line.
So that's a big-time bailout right there for East Ascension. The drive will continue the ball at the 26-yard line. Pass is incomplete, and it's second down.
Had a wide receiver open on the bootleg, running the drag, and I tell you what, he just couldn't get the ball there. He throws it right at his feet. Receiver needs to go down and dig that out. Quarterback needs to get the ball up. Somehow you've got to connect on that play with 6:20 left to go in the game. Those plays with a wide receiver have got to be made that is wide open in that instance. That's opportunity lost right there.
10th play of this drive that started back at the East Ascension 28-yard line. It's taken about 2.5 minutes off the clock thus far. Play action, throw it out in the flat, and a little bit of run to run, but quickly closing it up there. That was Wallace Foster, I believe.
Game 9.
9 on the play. The catch made out there by Mack. And maybe Stevens. Check that on the tackle. Let's see. Right. We got a stoppage here. Are we measuring? No, we're stopping for a hydration break. So 5:57 to play. It's going to be 3rd and 1 when we come back. So you get a free timeout here, Wade, to talk about things. Both sides.
Right. Well,
if you're Darnell Lee, if you're Jerry Phillips. Now, what we talked about, how little the Easton defense was on the field. Right. Now they've been on the field a little bit more here. They've been on the field almost this entire fourth quarter on a short week. Now is when you've got to, find the fortitude to step up and make a play.
Yeah, you got to buckle it up. There's no doubt about it. But they kind of hurt themselves with the personal foul there, and a couple of long gains by East. By East Ascension. So what do they tell the defense right here? Number one, let's contain the quarterback. Don't let him get out on the edge right here. Let's make sure that we drive the ball and tackle these guys in bounds. If they catch the ball, they don't get out of bounds, keep them in bounds. Let's keep that clock running. The clock is our ally. East Ascension over there right now said, hey, we got to pick up some tempo. I'd like to see them go a little bit faster here. They've still got their 3 timeouts.
I believe there's only one. They haven't adjusted anything on the scoreboard. Yeah, they used 2 on one. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that's the case. Dunn going for the end zone, in and out of the hands of Chopin, and it's 4th and 1.
A lot of hand fighting between the two over there. Good no call by the officials. You had the defensive back step for step, in stride, in phase with the receiver. I'm trying to get the defensive back's number. Was that number 10 maybe?
That may be, maybe Wallace Foster.
That was Foster. Yeah, that was Wallace right there. And Foster, he step for step in phase right there with the receiver. They're doing a lot of pushing and shoving and hands playing right there. Great no call by the officials out there to let those 2 guys play for the ball, one-on-one.
Chopin's a big guy, 6'3", 195, going against a freshman in Foster. Now, what do you do here on 4th and 1? Do you try to just run for it and get it, or do you just?
You got to get the first down.
First down first.
You got to get the first down.
It's quarterback sneak, and I'm not sure he got it. They're going to give him a favorable spot. It didn't look like.
Again, if all night long you're taking snaps in the gun and the quarterback then goes under center, tell me what's fixing to come. What's the play going to be? I don't get that. He got it barely. They're moving the sticks. It was first down on the quarterback sneak. I just don't like that. I'm sorry. If we're going to be a gun team, then let's be a gun team. Okay? If we're going to be a gun team and under the center team, then let's be that too.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. And Dunn going that way, and it is caught for a touchdown. Neville Chopin, the Ohio University commit, makes this an 8-point game, 20-12, with 5.5 to play.
Same fade again. They come right back to it. Wallace Foster is still step for step with Chopin, but this time, Chopin just reaches over his head and takes the ball away. Great throw. by the quarterback done, but a great catch, great effort by Neville Chopin. Ohio University, correct? Is that what you said?
That is correct.
The Bobcats.
Great sports administration program up there. Here's your point after try. Much better operation this time, and the kick is good. And it's a 7-point game with 5.5 to play. I didn't get a chance to really talk about it there because everything happened very quickly. One of the things that has become trendy in that situation, you're down 14, you score, to go down 8. And we saw it in the Saints-Lions game on Sunday. You go for 2 right there.
For 2 there. You got to go for 2 sooner or later.
Well, if you're trying to win. But the thing is, if you go for 2, you make it a 6-point game, then a touchdown extra point wins the game for you.
Right.
And if not, then you figure at some point you're trying to go 1 for 2 on 2-point conversion.
Again, it's about momentum. Again, it's about how fresh you are, how tired they are. Again, it's about if you're outside, who has to win. All of these factors play in making that decision. And it's not, every coach has that card in his pocket on whether to go 1 for 2. But they have also in the back of their mind, what are the situations calling for when sooner or later, if I'm trying to win a football game, I'm going to have to go for 2 anyway.
Once again, 10 up front for Easton trying to prevent the onside kick. And it appears Kern's going to boot it deep, and he will. He puts it over the head, and it's fielded by Robertson at about the 9-yard line. He'll get it back out to about the 19.
Okay, so here you go. Last time they got a 3 and out. Defense is rested, sitting on the boundary for East Ascension. This has turned into a football game right here. Whereas it was looking like it was going to walk away with Warren Easton, now we got a 7-point ball game. How big is an extra point?
No doubt.
First down and 10.
No doubt. Both teams had a messed up extra point operation. One barely got off the ground, one hit the crossbar. First down to give it away. Trying to get the edge and not getting there. That was to Mason on the carry, and he tried to get to the outside, and it just great pursuit that time by the East Ascension defense, a loss of 2.
All night they had been picking on that side with Marcellus Taylor there at the linebacker. Number 54, he does a nice job right there. He said, no way, not this time. He stepped up and set that edge and made a nice play.
Give it away to Mason, or check that. That's 31. That's Gordon this time. So about the 21-yard line. Got the lost yardage back, plus a couple more, and it's going to be 3rd down and 8.
I would say for East Ascension, as well as Warren Easton, this is the play right here. This 3rd down is the play. Only a few plays make up a ball game. This is one of them. So this is one of the big plays of the ball game.
Clearly the momentum on the side of the Spartans. They trailed this 20-0 at the end of the 3rd quarter if you're just tuning in. Now a 20-13 game. Connolly will throw this side high. It was intended for Luke, his favorite target. Incomplete, and it's another 3 and out.
He had Luke on the 7 route, the post corner, wide open. Right sit down in between the zone, between the safety and the corner, and he overthrows him right on the boundary. 3rd down, East Ascension gets another 3rd and out, and here we go.
So from the 21, it will be Johnson to punt it away. And the return man, Babin, is standing at the Easton 45-yard line. He doesn't think this is going to go very far. Easton's going to end up with very good field position. High snap. Johnson will get it away. One hop and letting it go probably smartly was Cale Babin, and it's down at the 39-yard line. It'll be a 40-yard punt, but 20 of that was roll, and EA will take over with 3:55 remaining from its 39-yard line. It has scored touchdowns on its last 2 possessions. It went 75 yards in 5 plays, then went 72 yards in 13 plays.
Okay, so we said the clock is wrong as far as the timeouts.
We believe it's 1 remaining, yeah.
We believe it's 1 remaining for East Ascension.
Yeah. Again, this bunch look to the bottom of your screen there. This is the formation that scored the touchdown. Escaping trouble, now coming free and caught. That is Xavier Jupiter on the catch, and he gets the ball into Easton territory at the 48-yard line, a first down, a gain of 13.
They run two little mesh routes right in front of the linebackers right there to spring one of the receivers free. Jupiter pops free off of the mesh, or what some people call a rub route, or some people might call a pick route, okay, depending on what side of the ball you're coaching on. Jupiter pops free, and Dunn does a great job stepping up in the pocket to avoid the rush and put the ball right on the money.
This is Dunn taking a shot down the field, a man wide open and caught at the 20-yard line. If it was thrown on the money, it was a touchdown, but Jupiter had to make a sliding catch at the 20.
Just not enough air on that ball. You had the air on the ball, like you said, Lenny. The score would have been 20 to 19.
Yeah. Timeout, Warren Easton. They want to talk about it.
Receiver wide open. Where was the safety? They were in a 3-deep coverage. There was no safety across the top of the post route right there. Looked like he ventured over to the other way. They were running two post routes right from both sides of the formation. Free safety peeked to the his right. Dunn through to his right, which was the free safety's left. Big pickup. If there would have been air under that ball, it would have been 6 points for
I got a break in the action to remind everybody a little sports note from Warren Easton. The Lady Eagles volleyball team continue their winning streak this afternoon, defeating Element and Maine in 3 straight sets. They'll be playing again tomorrow, starting at 4:30, junior varsity and varsity against St. Mary's at the Warren Easton Gym.
All right, is that the second used timeout by Warren Easton? The clock isn't indicating what we have here on timeouts.
I think that was their first.
Their first, so they've got 2 left.
From the 20. Samuel. Play action. Dunn. Rolling. He's got room to run and will get to about the 15-yard line.
One of the things I said last series Warren Easton needed to do was keep the quarterback from getting onto the flank on the bootlegs. All of a sudden, East Ascension has come out and started using their bootleg game to a lot of efficiency here. And Dunn is making some good throws out there when he's on the flank. And then when everything's covered, he's able to pick up big yardage on bootlegs.
East Ascension at 20 yards at halftime. They now have 206. And much of that has come here in the fourth quarter, as Dunn has thrown for 171 yards in the quarter. Flag in the secondary. Dunn is going to scramble out of bounds at the 14. Let's see what this is all about.
Talking about fatigue, that Warren Easton defensive line right now is fatigued.
And I think that's part of why Jerry Phillips used the timeout. They just give his guys a blow right there.
These guys have their hands down on their knees. You can see it. They're standing there. They're taking knees. They're gassed. We got a player down that just laid down and rolled over for Warren Easton.
I didn't see the signal on the penalty. The referee was starting to signal, and then all of a sudden called timeout because of the injured player.
Right.
3:22 to play. We'll sort this out. What a good one this has turned into. You would have expected, look, last year 42-41 went down on the last play. Could we be heading down on the last play once again?
Possibly be. All right, he's up and he's moving. He's just gassed. There we go.
Boy, 91 coming off that Jeremiah Macklin.
Jeremiah Macklin last week had a sack against Carr.
That resulted in a first down for the Spartans.
That could have been one of those. Could that have been one of those Navy things? I think that's forever going to be called one of those Navy things.
Yeah. So the penalty was clearly against Easton. It's first and goal. The ball was at the 7-yard line. In fact, it might have even been no play because it's at the 7.5. Not much for the quarterback, Troy Dunn, right there. Might have gotten it back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be second down.
That's a busted play. It started with a bad snap again at the feet of Dunn. He turns around. The running back didn't expect the ball. Dunn didn't have anything else to do but try to run through what was supposed to be the expected hole made by the offensive line.
Got it back to the line of scrimmage. Clock ticks under 3 minutes here. Second down and goal. The ball is at the 7-yard line.
Plenty enough time. You've got a timeout. What you want to do is keep yourself in those options to be able to run or pass the ball.
3 receivers, bottom of your screen. Dunn looking this way. Now go back over the middle. Incomplete in the direction of Jordan Goodlow. It's third down.
Well covered by that Warren Easton secondary right here. They were in man coverage. Everything was covered up. Dunn had no place to go with the ball except sail it out the back of the end zone. So here we go. Here's another one of those big plays that's going to define a moment right here tonight for Warren Easton. Third and goal.
Yeah, Dunn in the fourth quarter, 9 out of 17 for 171 yards.
I mean, you're in 2-down territory or 4-down territory, whatever you want to call it. You're going to go for it on 4th down. So you've got to be selective with your play right here. You don't necessarily, need to throw it in the end zone on this down.
Going out top side of your screen. Catch made by Goodlow, and looked like he got to about the 2-yard line.
And it's going to bring up 4th down.
This is basically your ball game.
This is your ball game. I like the call.
They put it at check it. They put it at the 3-yard line.
The 3. So you didn't have to go to the end zone with that play. You got to go to the end zone with this play.
Got a lot of options on where to go here as well. We'll have 3 to the bottom.
Get into
3 to the bottom, 2 to the top is
I get it as Chopin's hands on a jump ball down here at the bottom.
Samuel come in motion. They'll fake the little shovel, now throw it, and it is caught for the touchdown to Jaquel Mack, the tight end.
Off of the play action boot. Again, the bootleg action. Jaquel Mack right there for the big touchdown for East Ascension.
With 2:19 to play, East Ascension goes and 7 plays, 61 yards. They're going to try the extra point for the tie here. It took 1:36 off the clock right there. Remember, we had a missed extra point earlier in this quarter. Down, kick on the way, plenty of leg and good. This was a 20-0 game. At the end of the third quarter, it is now all tied with 2:19 to play.
Lenny, has Warren Easton been on their side of the 50?
In the fourth quarter, no, they haven't made a first down.
They haven't made a first down. So here we go. Smart move, kicking the 1. Your defense is playing well. You've just had 2 3-and-outs against a good offense. You're betting you're going to step up and get 3-and-out again, force them to punt, get the ball back on your side of the 50, 2:19 and a timeout left to win a football game. It will be probably under a minute if you get the ball back with 1 timeout to take your last shot and maybe a field goal to win it. I like the decision to kick the 1.
Again, a great game a year ago between these two teams. Went down to the last play. Easton scored down 7 to go down 1. Went for 2 in the win. Stopped just short of the goal line. 42-41 was the final. Tonight, it's 20-20 with 2:19 to play.
Got to cover this kickoff, East Ascension. Special teams plays a big part right now. Got to cover the kickoff. Can't give up the cheap one.
Kern puts it on its way. From the 10. And a seam, and still running. And knocked out of bounds at the 45, and a flag. 2 flags come in late as Luke on the return got the big play that you were talking about, Wade.
Then you're going to probably tack on another 15 for a late hit out of bounds. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, it wasn't. It was a block in the back. Block in the back on Warren Easton.
They're still going to have good field position. They're going to start at the 36-yard line.
They're still going to have good field position. I thought there might have also, I'm sure there was a block in the back. I didn't see it, but I did see the push out of bounds by the kicker, which could have possibly been a flag also.
All right, so Easton starts this drive at the 36-yard line, 2:11 to play. 4 receivers, 3 to the top, 1 to the bottom. Connolly hands it off. I like the call right there, Wade. Get the ball in the hands of Jay Gordon. You've got plenty of time here.
And go back to where your running game has been working all night, picking on your right side on off that off-tackle bounce or stretch play right there.
Well, remember, we said with about 3 minutes left in the third quarter, Easton was on their 60th snap of the game. So even though EA's defense has only been out there for a little bit in the fourth quarter, there's still a little bit of wear and tear over the course of this game tonight. Down to 100 seconds to play. Throw it quickly this side, Luke. It's well defended, although Luke gets away, and will step out of bounds at the 44. It'll be a loss of 1.
Well, Harris, can't quite read that name right there on the thing. Let me see, number 12. Cameron Harris for East Ascension came up and made the stick right there. He just couldn't hold on to Luke right there, and Luke scored away and picked up some valuable yardage.
3rd and 2. The line to make is the 46. A minute 34 to play. First things first, you got to convert here.
No doubt.
And they'll give it away to Gordon, and he has stood up in the backfield. Great penetration by the East Ascension defense.
That was Jarrell Boykins, comes up with a big play from his defensive line position, number 42.
And EA is going to call timeout with a minute 24.
Got to waste the timeout right here. What a turnaround in this fourth quarter by this East Ascension offense. All of a sudden, they found something that worked, a couple of pass plays. The bootleg game, I think, was something that was big that they found that worked. They had a couple of big plays by their running back, Samuel, on a couple catches. And all of a sudden, they fought themselves right back into a tied ball game.
Here's the East Ascension had 24 yards of offense through 3 quarters. And they are now at, they're over 200. I know that. They've thrown for 236. The rushing yards are negative because of those. You had a couple of bad plays there. You had a bad sack. You had a bad punt snap earlier. It's 210 yards right now for East Ascension. And again, they hit 24 at the end of the third quarter. Now, how about this? Warren Easton's going to send the offense back on the field on 4th and 2 from the 44. I guess if you could go for 2 down 1, this is effectively a 2-point play right here, right?
Right.
4th and 2.
4th and 2. They might be trying to draw them off sides.
That's possible.
I mean, they've done it 3 or 4 times tonight. Hard count would be a great call.
They're still looking for... And now a timeout Easton.
Timeout, Warren Easton.
That should be their second timeout.
Now, if our count's correct here, the scoreboard is not ticking off timeouts, but by our count, Easton has 1 remaining and East Ascension is out of timeouts.
Correct. So what do? Do you come out and do you go for the 2 yards, or do you punt this football away if you are Warren Easton?
Well, it looks like they're sending the punting unit on now.
I think that's the right call. That's what I would do. I would punt this ball away, play defense. You got to still believe in this defense, because this defense is and has played pretty darn well until they started getting gassed in the fourth quarter.
You come up with a stop here with 1:24 to play. By the time this punt exchange happens, it'll be less than that. Oh, it's a high snap, but it's handled by Johnson. He's going to run around, finally going to kick the football and get a good bounce, and it's going to roll and roll and roll inside the 20, inside the 15, down to about the 13-yard line. So that'll be 42 yards on the kick.
All right,
you used up some time as well.
You used up time. Great job by Warren Easton. The thing that kind of befundles me is you don't use a fair catch down here to catch that punt. You can't let that ball hit the ground in this instance.
No, it was a line drive, and he rugby style, rolled out with it there.
You still got to put that hand up. Do your best to try to catch that football, because every yard back towards your end zone with 1:10 is detrimental for your chance to win a football game by kicking the field goal possible.
Well, let's see how Darnell Lee plays this right here. He's got 4 receivers, of course, out there. They will hand it away on first down and see if they can maybe do something there. And that was Samuel on the carry. Not much doing. Perhaps he's playing for overtime right now.
Warren Easton's got a timeout to use.
But only one.
If our count, and it's got to be used, and they're not using it. I would have called it right after that first down play there and taken my chances to see if I could have possibly get the ball back.
Second down, 11.
Hail Mary it or something of that nature. You never know. But both teams seem to be content to take this thing into Lagniappe overtime. They're going to kneel it out.
Now they'll go into. It's not victory formation, I guess, if you're doing it here, but it's just the same, and that's going to take us to overtime. If you've never seen a high school overtime, if you've watched college, it's effectively the same thing, except instead of playing from the 25-yard line, you're playing from the 10-yard line.
That's correct. If you win the toss, you're going to want to choose defense first, because at the end of the equal overtime possessions, you want to be the last team to have the ball. So they'll have a toss here after both teams take a couple of minute break. And if you win the toss, you want to say the words, I want to play defense. Your other option is, if you lose the toss, what end of the field do you want to defend? Tonight's pretty night, not much wind going on out there yet. So it really doesn't matter which end of the field you want to defend, except I would probably take the clock, so that way I have the clock in front of me.
And both teams go to the same end, correct?
Right, both teams go to the same end.
But again, it doesn't matter here because there's no game clock and you can't see a play clock, so really there's no clock. Clock is meaningless.
Here's why. All right? I would always take the clock because I'm superstitious.
Okay, there you go.
So, take the clock. Which end we taking, Coach? We're taking the clock. Which way you want to defend? I want to defend the clock. Doesn't really matter, you're right, because there's no running clock.
So we'll bring the captains to the center of the field.
Captains to the center of the field.
And again, this year you're seeing one of the COVID precautions here. You have only one captain for each team. You only have 4 officials out there, one escorting each captain. The referee and the umpire will execute the coin toss.
Can't even shake hands.
No shaking hands. We won't see it after the game as well. We saw that last week. No shaking hands.
You can't give an elbow, can't give a high five, no. but for 60 minutes you can sure as heck breathe all over each other and tackle each other. And East Ascension won the toss, so they are going to go on defense first.
Let's see which end of the field we're going to play to. Looks like we're going towards the end zone to your right,
which would be the north end zone.
So here we go. Easton will get the football first in this first overtime period.
High school overtime is 4 down from the 10-yard line.
You play first and goal. So the down marker guys still got work to do. The chain crew can pretty much take the rest of the night off. There's always a possibility with penalties. You could have you could end up in a 1st and 10 situation at some point, but generally, no. You're dealing with goal to go right now.
Goal to go.
Warren Easton did not make a first down in the 4th quarter. They went 3 and out on all 3 possessions.
It's time for Warren Easton to get number 31 going.
Warren Easton's last first down was their last touchdown. That long pass in the corner of the end zone to Allred Luke.
I mean, they've had success for 3 quarters running that football off tackle with number 31, number 5, number 22.
They've run it well.
They've run it well. It's time to get that off-tackle game going and go mano-a-mano with my offensive line versus your defensive line. And let's just see who can match up better.
First down. They will give it away on first down, and this time it will be Gordon. And great penetration once again by the East Ascension front 7, and it's going to be no gain.
And that was 99, Ashton Milton, making that penetration that time from his nose guard position. He blew the center up, got into the backfield, and made a huge hit in the backfield on Gordon.
Rollout, now putting it down and running, and down at about the 7-yard line is Connolly.
East Ascension does a great job on their coverage right there. Connolly had no place to go with the ball, so what does he do? He tucks it and takes off, gets dragged down right about the 5-yard line. He didn't make a stupid play. He didn't want to give over a turnover right there and try to force something. So what does he do? He just tucks the ball and gets whatever he can. Remember, East Ascension has a kicker that can absolutely kick this distance in the field goal.
Well, I think both teams have a chance. No problem with it. If it gets to 4th down, you just got to make a decision on how you want to handle it. Martez Scott was the injured East Ascension player. They're tending to him, so both teams go over to their benches for a moment.
So your 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line. The key is here on this 3rd down play. Let's don't make a mistake here. Let's don't throw the ball into something that is going to give us give a turnover to East Ascension. Let's make a smart play. If it's there, let's take it. If it's not, let's get what we can, and let's kick the 3 and put the pressure on that East Ascension offense and let our defense play the next series. All right, so here we go.
3rd and goal at the 7. 3rd and goal. Yeah, 3rd. Going to throw it up in the corner. Got a man. Caught. Touchdown. Curtis Elmore.
I would love to see that on the replay because I don't know if he was in bounds. The defensive back defending on that for East Ascension was Chase Bove. He's indicating that he wasn't in bounds. He had the vertical fade route covered pretty well. It was a throw and catch. It was a jump ball back there in the corner of the end zone. So it was a bang-bang call by the official, and he called it touchdown. They would definitely be looking at this on a replay.
Oh, if this was
under a curtain somewhere. If
we
this
got to
was
stop
at the
it
next
here.
level.
We got to stop it. Well, last year for the first time at the state championship,
right.
had reviews. And in fact, there were quite a few in that Easton Carr game.
Yes, there are.
And the thing about, I mean, while it slowed down the pace of the game, and that was one thing, generally about everything was right. Okay, in fact, it's the same thing in the Destrehan Acadiana, the 5A championship game. They got everything right. That when they went to replay, they made the correction and got the call right. I remember one play where I believe it was an Easton defender on a kickoff coverage, knocked the ball out and managed to throw it back into another. He was falling out of bounds and flipped it back into another player and had not stepped out of bounds. At first they had ruled he was out of bounds, but in fact he had kept his feet in bounds before he jumped to throw it back in. And
they also had some questionable calls overturned in the Destrehan
Destrehan Acadiana game. They had a 12-man on the field penalty. All right, so here you go for the point after that would make this a 27-20 game. On the way, it is good.
Well, I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you my feelings on why. I think you play one way all year, you officiate one way all year, and when you start putting a twist on how you're going to manage the football game from the officiating standpoint, I think even though they got it all right for the most part last year, it can still put a big kink into the way you're going to do things from the officiating part of the game, the officiating management. I was not a fan of it. You either do it all year long in every game, or don't do it just in one game. I mean, I know everybody has their own opinions on that sort of thing. I'm just a traditionalist from that standpoint.
All right, so now it's EA's turn. They need a touchdown and an extra point to match here. Give it away on first down. And into the end zone for the touchdown goes Walter Samuel.
He is the bell cow. He's the workhorse. He's the guy that they've been needing to get going all night. They've gotten him going in the fourth quarter. They run outside zone stretch, and he just walks through the defense right there into the end zone. You kick the one, or you go for two.
Looks like they're going to kick right here. But remember this now. In this game last year, East Ascension ran a fake field goal late in the fourth quarter against Easton. Do you have that still sitting there?
I'd have gone for two right here because the defense is gassed. I'd have had my play called already. I'd have been at that ball snapping, at the line snapping that ball and taking that shot.
On the way, kick is good, and we're headed to a second overtime.
You can see the way the East Ascension defense is walking right now. Hands on their hips. They are gassed. That's the reason why I would have taken my shot going for two at that particular point if I was East Ascension. What a ball game this has turned out to be. So here we go. We'll flip it around again.
Are we staying at this end now?
We're staying at this end. There's no need to change ends. It was chosen once. East Ascension now will go first on offense. And Warren Easton will now play defense for the second.
Final score, by the way, from up in Baton Rouge. Edna Carr beats Catholic 34-31.
Oh, my. What a great ball game.
This may be a better one the way it's turned out. So East Ascension goes first this time around. Looking for the end zone. That ball is overthrown.
Real close to offensive interference out there by the wide receiver.
I believe that was Jupiter out there. Was a Chopin? No, it was 23. It was
Chopin. Real close by Chopin out there. He had a little bit of a touch and a push off. I don't think he extended his elbows. You know, all those things they talk about in the talking points of officiating. Did he extend his elbows? Did he actually push momentum onto the defensive back? That sort of thing. I don't know if he quite did that, but he definitely had his hands on that defender. I don't know any receiver that does it.
Give it away, And there is nowhere for Walter Samuel to go. He's brought down for a loss of about 4.
A little slow developing counter right there. I like it if they're going to run the ball rather than just running right at them downhill like they did in the first overtime. They run counter Trey right there, and it was real slow developing. Penetration on the backfield by purple jerseys, all led by that defensive line. And I'm going to call that name again, number 9, who's had a great night tonight, Cindy Humble.
Taking a little time here. I wonder if East Ascension is going to use a timeout before running this third down play. No, it looks like they're going to go on with it here.
Well, I don't know if they're going to get. I don't know if they're going to get this ball off.
Yeah, look, it's already up to 10. Yeah, they have to hurry. They didn't get it off.
That's a mistake.
Flag on the play. Delay a game on the offense. Ball calls for 5.
So now you play it from the 18-yard line, and what you're doing as well is you're making a field goal that much more difficult as you're backing up here. Right now, if you don't get anything on this play, it's a 35-yard field goal.
Again, for our fans out there, we don't have a 40-second clock in either end zone in this stadium. So the backfield judge is the person that's keeping the 40-second clock on the field. When he puts his hands up back there, all right, that's when they have 5 seconds left to go before the countdown. And there goes that hand up again.
The waving is the 10.
Right.
He'll get it away. Dunn throwing it up there, and it is knocked away complete. He's trying to get Samuel on some form of wheel route out there, but...
Well, Samuel had the linebacker beat that had him in coverage step for step right there, and Samuel had a step. A great job by the safety for Easton coming over, knocking that ball away at its high point to save a touchdown, because had it not been knocked away, Samuel probably caught that for the 6.
All right, this will be a 35-yard field goal by Logan Kern. First field goal try tonight. He's 3 for 4 on extra points. Kick on the way. That is good. Just over the crossbar.
Just eked over the crossbar also. I mean, eek. And it was very close.
All right. So it's a 30-27 East Ascension lead. It's their first lead of the night. And now, Easton from the 10 can tie with a field goal, but can win it with a touchdown.
Can win it with a touchdown. They've got the ball last in the series. I know whose hands I'd get the ball into.
And he's out there. Jay Gordon. Connolly will roll, throw, in and out of the hands of his receiver, and that was Allward Luke.
Oh my God!
He's already got.
That's who I wanted to get the hands of the ball.
He's got 12 catches tonight. Could have had 13 and walked off a winner.
Oh, come on, man! You're the guy I wanted to catch that ball right there. I know if I'd thrown that ball to you, I would have bet 9 out of 10 times you were going to catch that. He was wide open on the out route right there at the cone. Very nicely thrown ball, and he just drops it.
1 second and goal. Pocket's got to move for Connolly. Trying to keep the play alive. Throws back in the end zone, and it is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. The wide receiver had to suddenly go play DB right there. That was Curtis Elmore who got in and broke that up.
Curtis Elmore could have picked that ball, Lenny, right there.
Well, Elmore is the offensive player who actually got a hand in there to break up the interception and keep this game alive. But you're right, that could have very easily been a game-ending interception right here. 3rd and goal at the 10. Connolly rolling, running, keeping, staying on his feet, did not get in. He stepped out of bounds at the 3, maybe the 4-yard line. And now it's decision time for Jerry Phillips.
Connolly was looking for Luke again on the out route right at the pylon, but he was very well covered that time, unlike first down. So he tucks the ball and he steps out of bounds right at around the 3 to 4 yard line. Well, you got to kick the 3.
Play on.
Yep. kick the 3 right here and you play on it.
Well, they will talk about it right here. Look, this is a guy in Jerry Phillips who has been down 1 3 times late in games in his career and has gone for 2 in the win. Okay? So there's that to consider in all of this. And here's the other thing: the ball is on a hash, so it's not centered up at the middle of the field here. Correct. So that's a 21-yard field goal on a sharp angle here. To take that into consideration as well.
You've got to think about that with your kicker. No doubt about it. That's going to be put into consideration. But all indications, I kicked the 3 right here.
Yeah,
but
it looks like the offense is coming back on the field, Wade.
Oh my goodness! Here we go.
So this is it.
This is the ball game.
1 wide receiver to the bottom. That is Curtis Elmore. 3 to the top with Luke in the slot.
And you've got man-on-man all across the board by East Ascension.
And now we've got a whistle.
Illegal
Flag on
procedure.
a play false start. So now it's 4th and goal from the 9, and how does this change things?
Now you got to kick the 3. Yeah, I mean, you've got to kick this 3. I'm thinking they don't have confidence in their kicker to kick off the hash, Lenny, like you brought up. I don't know why you don't kick the 3 here from this distance.
4th and goal for the 9. Here's your ball game. Gave it to the running back. Will he get in? He is stopped short of the goal line by half a yard, and East Ascension wins it.
Oh my goodness gracious! What a call! What guts on Warren Easton's part to put the ball on the ground with Gord, and what a great defensive play inside the 5-yard line, stopped at about the 6-inch line, and Easton is stunned as the East Ascension sideline is erupting with glee, obviously.
What an unbelievable football game. Your final score in double overtime. East Ascension 30, Warren Easton 27. Wait, like I mentioned, there were East Ascension at 24 yards of offense in the first 3 quarters. Got it together in the 4th quarter, scored 3 touchdowns, got this thing to overtime, and then pulled it out in OT. You've got to tip your cap to the guys in white and gold and blue on the far sideline.
Well, they found something in that 4th quarter that worked, and I think what they found was number 22, who
that started it. That 56-yard catch started it, but don't look.
Samuel,
the quarterback Troy Dunn passed for 175 yards in the 4th quarter. And really, they rode his arm to get back in this thing.
The other thing they found is they found the bootleg. They got him out of the pocket.
And give their defense credit, because their defense continued to get stops and get their offense the football. Easton did not have a first down.
They came up with 2 big 3-and-outs in the 4th quarter that gave East Ascension the ball on the Warren Easton side of the 50, which led to 2 scores, which led to the momentum, and that Warren Easton defense was gassed in the 4th quarter and in overtime.
No doubt about it. Wade, this has been a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Great football
For our first
game.
Wednesday night football game ever on Crescent City Sports, this turned out to be a dandy. Our thanks to Matt Merritt. Our thanks to Albert Garrett. Thanks to Wade Kaiser. I'm Lenny Van Gilder. We're once again your final score tonight in double overtime here, Victory Field at Joe Brown Park. East Ascension 30, Warren Easton 27. Until next week, so long, everybody.
You don't think you got it?